Ta-da! Okay, so we're back. Sorry about that. So 15 minutes into it, and OBS didn't work out this time around. So we're back to StreamYard. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so for those of you who are just jumping in, or those of you who are jumping back in, today I want to start with first things first, right? What we're gonna do. Oh, so some housekeeping. Every Thursday from now on, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to do this. So we're going to go live stream, and sometimes it'll just be me, doing some analysis, breakdown videos, of myself or, other people's videos and fights and stuff like that, and, just talk martial arts. And sometimes it's going to be with a guest. So when it's a guest, it's essentially a live podcast. And yeah, so you guys could actually go onto my channel, go into the, you go into the video content section, and then you can actually click on a notification for the lives, I think, so that's if you guys want to get notified when I do live. So this would be a great way for you guys to communicate with me, ask me questions and all. Sometimes in the comment section, it's not always, I don't always have the time to read through like all the comments and answer everything as much as I would want to. So that's why I'm doing these type of live streams, so that way I could interact with you guys a lot easier and a lot faster, right? So that's that. Now, what else did I want? Oh, guys, so I also started up a second channel. Some of you might have seen it, but I think most of you haven't yet. It's called OG Fitness Clips. And what I'm going to do on this channel, on that channel, I mean, is that I'm going to have clips of the lives that I do here. I'm going to have clips of, me training, a lot of shorts I'm going to do over there. So you guys get to see like what I do on a daily basis in my everyday life in regards to like training, nutrition, martial arts, judo, wrestling, all the fun stuff that I do. And yeah, so it's still in the works. Like, let me know what kind of content you guys want to see there, because it's going to be different content from the main channel. The main channel is going to be the way it is. Of course, if you guys go sub there and sub here, click on the notification bell, like, comment, share and all that good stuff, then it helps the channel to grow. And then it allows me to, as the channel grows, it allows me to make better and better content for you guys. Right, so that's really cool. Okay, that's that. Now, so I'm gonna start, and it's already in the works. I already filmed a couple of videos, so they're being worked on right now. So once they're ready, by sometime next week, probably in a week or two tops, I'm gonna start having videos of me, more like tutorial-based videos where I'm showing stuff in the gym, like martial arts and stuff, judo, wrestling, stuff that I'm working on. And it's going to be fun. Like I used to not really want to do that kind of stuff for a couple of reasons. One of the reasons was because, well, I didn't have a place to film. And then, well, the whole thing happened, the beer bug thing, how the world essentially went upside down for like 2 years. Like that's what happened. And that kind of like, put a dent in the whole plan. So now I have a place, and I didn't want to do it before because there's a lot of people doing it. So I was thinking to myself, just don't want to do the same thing over and over. But then I thought about it, and I'm like, wait a second. I think I got something to offer here, right? In terms of the way I'm doing things and the way I explain things. And yeah, just, me being me. So I'm going to make some for you guys finally, because I've been talking about this forever, but finally it's going to be done. So we're going to have some new type of videos, new formats. So that's going to be really cool. I think you guys are going to enjoy that a lot. And yeah, I'm really going to bring this channel and make it worth everybody's time, and really bring as much value to you guys as I can as I share my journey, to becoming like numero uno martial artist that I could be. So that's that for the housekeeping. All right, so you guys ready to get into the Rokus's video? Sure you are. I'm excited. Let me just try to figure this out for 1 second here. Oh, wait. Okay. So let me just try something here. Okay. So I think that if I set the screen, actually, no, I'm going to need the screen bigger than this. Okay, perfect. Layout. Oh, okay. I see what we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to share screen. I'm still new at this, so bear with me here. Share screen. Okay, which screen am I going to share? Yes, I'm going to share that one. Okay. Okay, I'm back. Let me try this again. So let's see here. Okay, I'm gonna stop this screen. I'm gonna share. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to share this screen right here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so this is what we got. I got the video all ready for you guys. Now let's play it, and then I'm going to pause the video, and then comment, and then play it again and comment, and we'll do that. You guys are gonna see it's pretty. It's gonna be a good time. All right.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo used to be the same martial art. Yet what happens when you pit a Bjj Blue Belt and a Judo Brown Belt against each other now? In order to find out, I met with Gasper, a competing Judo Brown Belt. Gasper has also been doing BJJ for over a year now, but his basis is primarily Judo. We separated our sparring into 4 rounds based on different rule sets. The first one was Judo versus Judo, where Gasper used mainly his Judo.
Okay, let me just rewind that for 1 second here. He said something right out of the gate at the beginning that that I think needs a little bit of tweaking, right? Now, everybody has their opinion based on their experiences. That's fine. That's fine. And so I want to watch this video. It's not to really critique anybody. It's just to add a little bit of nuance and my take on certain things, certain details that he mentioned in this video. Because as you all know, I'm like primarily a grappler, right? That's my strength. So that's why I wanted to do this video. And I was really excited when I saw this one. Like I watched it this morning. I was like, oh, I got to talk about this. I was actually going to do another react video. Like I was going to react on another video. But then I fell on this and I'm like, okay, the other videos could wait. Anyways, we're going to do this every single week, except for when we have a podcast. But yeah, that's that. Hey, somebody put a comment. Okay, yes. Yeah, somebody commented it's a lot better. It's my buddy Mike. Awesome. Good stuff. Okay, so let me get back to this video here.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo used to be the same martial art. Yep.
Okay, right there. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo used to be the same martial art. I don't think that's correct, right? I think there was Judo and BJJ came afterwards. It was kind of like an offshoot of Judo, but not really like an offshoot in the sense that Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is basically Newaza. But then, of course, they developed it a little bit further, for street fighting, basically in Brazil. but it wasn't like the same martial art. It was basically BJJ didn't exist. There was no BJJ. Like there was judo, and judo encompasses a lot more than just like the tachiwaza. So the tachiwaza is the standing part of it, the throwing, and so and then there's newaza, and then newaza is ground technique, groundwork, and then from there you got your joint locks, your chokes, and pretty much and then yeah, you have a couple of other things in there, but that's judo. So judo in itself is pretty I mean, it's more than just throws, right? So I think right there it's a little mistake on Rokus's part, like saying that it used to be like what did he say again? Like let me just okay, wait.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo used to be the same martial art.
Oh, okay, wait. He said it used to be the same martial art. That's kind of correct. I think I know what he means, but for a second there, I understood like it was the same martial art. Yeah. Well, anyways, you guys know what I mean. But it wasn't that it was the same martial art. Like it was just judo. That's all it was. All right, let's continue the video.
Yet what happens when you pit a BJJ Blue Belt and a Judo Brown Belt against each other now? In order to find out, I met with Gasper, a competing Judo Brown Belt. Gasper has also been doing BJJ for over a year now, but his basis is primarily Judo. We separated our sparring into 4 rounds.
All right. So I'm gonna tell you what happens when what do you call it? A BJJ fights a judo guy. Now, if it's a pure jiu-jitsu guy versus a pure judo guy, it's gonna depend on the judo guy. I mean, because a lot of people have this thing that this idea that most judo guys, and I've had this before. I was told this before from my first Brazilian jiu-jitsu coach that BJJ that judo guys, okay, suck on the ground. You know, they're like a blue belt level on the ground. So if you're no, sorry, they like they're not good. They're just not good on the ground. And a BJJ blue belt was worth a judo black belt on the ground. And there is some kind of truth to that. I mean, if the judo player is comes from a school or maybe decided that all he wants to do is stand up and he cares nothing about the ground, that happens quite a bit. There's a lot of people who do judo and they don't want like they don't like newaza at all, so they just focus on you know on the standing part, on the throws. So that's where that comes from, but it depends at what level, because at the national and international level, judoka, like those guys have solid ground game because it's a little bit different because of the rule set and all that, but their ground game is solid. Like I've seen there's at that level, like the judo guy versus just a pure BJJ guy, the BJJ guy would get crushed, right? That's just my take on it. Unless that BJJ guy was like super high level BJJ guy. Anyways, let's continue the video.
Based on different rule sets. The first one was Judo versus Judo, where Gasper used mainly his Judo, while I, the Judo White Belt, tried to use only Judo against him. We then moved on to BJJ Gi.
Okay, so that's something I like. I like that he split it up into four things, four different type of matches, four different type of rule sets, and that's important because when you're comparing two arts like this, the thing is, like, you have to compare. The rule sets are very important. You can't just change the rules and then who's gonna win? Well, obviously the one that's more adapted to that rule set. Like if we're fighting under BJJ rules, well, the BJJ guy most likely is going to win. You know, if we're playing judo rules, the judo guy is going to win, which is normal. Like the rules are different. So let's continue here.
Versus Judo Gi, where both of us wore our uniforms, but this time I was allowed to use my BJJ skill. The third round was Judo no Gi versus BJJ no Gi, meaning we didn't wear our traditional uniforms, which prevented us from using gi grips. something that judo relies heavily on. And in the final round, we did an Aikido versus Judo sparring, where I tried to use my Aikido skills against Gasper's Judo. Before we dive into the sparring, it's important to mention why this experiment is particularly important. It all started with Matsuyo Mai.
Okay. I just want to go back a little bit here, guys, because I noticed something. Wait, I think you mentioned it at the beginning. There's a huge weight difference between these two. Like Rokas is huge compared to this guy. Oh wait, let me just find where he indicates this. Won't be too long.
Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo used to be the same martial art. Yet what happens when you put a BJJ Blue Belt and a Judo Brown Belt against each other now? In order to find out, I met with Jasper, a competing Judo Brown Belt.
Wait, let me just, okay, I think he talks about it a little bit further into the video, but just look at the size difference. Guys, size matters. Rokas is a lot taller than this dude. This guy's like, like obviously, I don't know how tall Rokas is, but obviously, like, look at this. He's way too tall. Now, not just the height, but the weight it plays a big factor. And honestly, like this judo brown belt, it doesn't seem that good to me. It's not a knock on him, like, when you've been practicing for so long, I mean, I haven't been practicing for like 20 years or anything like that, but I've been doing it for like 7 years now in judo, and like I wouldn't say talented, but like I'm the type of guy who could see something and could duplicate it, and I've been told this by many coaches. It doesn't take me 100 years to figure something out. Like, and the more I practice, like I get good pretty fast at certain things, right? Especially when it comes to like stuff that I enjoy doing, like martial arts and all, and throwing people around. So, oh, there you go. Okay, so Claudio here, 6'2". Thanks, bud. So 6'2". So I don't know how like tall the other dude is, but the other guy's like a midget in comparison, right? So that matters. And it's not just the height, it's the weight too. Like he's gonna talk about it in the video, but let's just continue. But I just want to show you guys like the this brown belt in and it's funny because he has like a his name on the back of the gi. In French, it's called a dossard. In English, I forgot, but he has like the name, like Italy, because this is that's what it's written. It's written like Ita. I think that's for Italy, right? You have the country, the first like 3 letters or 4 letters of whatever of your country, and then you have your name. So now, usually you're asked to have that in international competitions, but from the way I like grew up in judo, the way I was taught is that don't get one of those until you're black belt, because it's a joke. Like you're not a black belt, and you shouldn't be like putting your name, plastering your name on your back like that. That's for like international competition, black belt. So like you don't need to do an international competition to have that. I mean, you just got to order it. You're allowed to order it, no problem. But I mean, if you're not even a black belt, it's kind of pretentious. That's the way I was taught. Okay. All right. And so just pay attention on this guy's movement patterns. Yeah, competing doesn't mean nothing. You can compete and you can suck. I'm not saying he sucks, but I'm saying the movement pattern that I see here against Rokas, like, yeah, I'd whoop this guy. Easy.
Bert has also been using BJJ for over a year now, but his base is...
Yeah, so guys, high-level judo guys, I've seen some like national, international guys. If they do BJJ for a year, they will crush any jiu-jitsu guy. Like they pick it up like this because they already have such so many attributes that have been developed through like years and years of like competition, high-level competition. And judo is highly explosive too, and these guys are strong and in shape, But anyways, so it comes back to the individual, right? I'm not saying obviously every judoka is different, and judoka, like just because you compete, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're high level, but if you keep competing, you'll eventually get pretty good at it. And also, just because you did BJJ for a year, it's going to depend. It doesn't mean that you're going to be. It's not. It doesn't mean that you're going to be like so-so. Like it could, you could be really good doing BJJ for a year. It depends how like on a lot of things, like the school you train at, how often you train, your like your specific skill set, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so let's just continue this. I know I talk a lot, guys, but I just want to. There's a lot of things here. Not that it's wrong, but a lot of things that I want to point out to you guys and give you guys my take on it, because I think that this video kind of paints judo as like not that good, So I want to dispel that, because, man, if you guys come to my club, like, all right, let's move on.
We separated our sparring into 4 rounds based on different rule sets. The first one was judo versus judo, where Gasper used mainly his judo, while I, the judo white.
Yeah, he's not very explosive, this judo guy. Like, he's moving, but maybe because it's sparring too, and he's being nice, probably. I don't know, but maybe the weight difference. But he doesn't seem all that powerful and explosive. But anyways, I digress.
So tried to use only judo against him. We then moved on to Bjj Blue versus Judo, where both of us wore our uniforms, but this time I was allowed to use my BJJ skill. The third round was judo.
Okay, obviously, he went for like a sacrifice technique, so like kind of like a sumi geishi, and like complete fail. All right, like first of all, if you do that, you got to set it up, and you got to do it with like power and speed and all that. You can't just half-ass it like that and then have like taller, heavier guy just like sprawl out on you, and also like if you have like more experience, like if you have half a brain, you're not going to do that, like, because there's certain things as a judoka, like if you're fighting a BJJ guy under BJJ rule sets, then you're not gonna do things where he could easily take your back or like just land on top of you like that. You're gonna choose certain techniques that are better for you to land on top, right? Because you don't want to in judo, like nobody cares. Like we could turn our backs, no problem, as long as we slam the guy on his shoulders and roll into him. Ippon, finish. See you later. Who cares, right? But obviously, this Casper or Gasper, what was his name? Casper. Yeah. So Casper sucked for that. Okay, let's keep going.
Yogi versus GTJ Nogi, meaning we didn't wear our traditional uniforms, which prevented us from using secrets, something that judo relies heavily on. And in the final round, we did an Aikido versus judo sparring, where I tried to use my Aikido skills against Gasper's judo. Before we dive into the sparring, it's important to mention why this experiment is particularly important. It all started with Matsuyo Maeda, a judo practitioner who in 1904 was sent overseas to a judo demonstration in order to promote this martial art. In 1917, Maeda was giving demonstrations in Brazil, which was observed by Carlos Racing, who decided to learn Matsuyo. Maeda accepted Carlos as a student and taught him for several years. Carlos continued to develop what he learned together with his brothers, strongly focusing on functionality instead of tradition, a common feature of Brazilian culture. Over time, Gracie's approach to judo became different enough that it's got.
You see, the thing with history is that you're going to get different version depending on what side talks about it. And I'm not sure that's true that they decided to focus on stuff that was only functional. Like the Brazilians were like, oh, okay, this is all garbage. We're just gonna focus on stuff that actually works, and it's the ground game. Like, okay, first of all, feudal Japan. Like how many hundreds or whatever years, like the Japanese were fighting, like on the battlefield with swords, like just murdering each other. You think these guys don't know what's functional, right? Like, okay, obviously it's a little bit different because they were fighting with swords and daggers and weapons, and they had armor and all that crap. But I mean, even after that, like they understood fighting, right? So I think that maybe here, like obviously don't quote me on this, but it could be very possible that because stand up is hard. It's really hard, guys. It takes time to develop that. And sometimes and you get good at Brazilian jiu-jitsu a lot faster than you get good at judo. Judo takes a lot of time. It's fun. It's fun as hell. But for you to pull off certain things and to develop like a certain skill set, certain sensibilities, body awareness, timing, balance, speed, calmness in combat, gripping, and moving your body in certain ways. I mean, it takes time, man, and to be able to pull that off on an opponent that's doing the exact same thing to you, that knows what you're trying to do, and then you're trying to like, and like they're resisting you. It's very hard, and also, so if you don't have natural athletic attributes, and on top of that, like you so if you don't have that, and you're starting later in life, it's very like discouraging. So sometimes like people would just focus on, you see what he said there, oh, they're just focusing on like what works. Bullshit. I think it might have been because it was just too hard. It was like just too complicated. They just wanted to, man, just teach me this now, and I want to just beat up people, But so they figure, okay, whatever. Listen, most people don't know how to fight on the ground anyway. So like this is kind of like a secret weapon. So I'm just gonna take them down for the most part, work that because that's easier to work on and to develop. And I think that's what really happened. And it wasn't because they were focusing on things that were just functional. That's just my opinion, thoughts. Okay, Dread Inside. Is it too late for 40-year-olds like me to start judo? No, absolutely not. Like, obviously, I'm 43. I started at 36. So it's never too late, guys. It's never too late. Of course, you got to be a little bit more careful. And ideally, like your school and your coach has like maybe a class for beginners and for adults and for people who don't want to compete. So there's a couple of things there that you have to take into consideration, but it's never too late. Never too late. You could always. Did you guys know that in Japan, right? What they do with guys who start a bit later in life is that they start them on the ground, and they do this a lot in the universities. So in the universities, when guys come in and like they didn't start judo when they're like 3 years old or whatever, they'll start them on newaza, right? Newaza. So they do so much groundwork to get the guy's body strong, get them comfortable, and then they start working in like the uchikomis, the entries, like tak, the entries, and the kazushi, the off balancing, and then they'll use crash mats. Like they build up to it, right? So there is a right way to do it, and there is like the crazy way of doing it. Like if you're 40 years old, like you don't want to approach it the same way as if you were 5, or if you were like a 16-year-old or 20-year-old who's been doing this like for over 10 years now, and it's different, but it's definitely not too late. All that. Okay, John D. Thomas. All that what works crap is marketing. You hear it all. You hear it in all styles. Yeah, I agree. Totally. It's always like, oh yeah, no, this is all you need. This is what works. I mean, it's gonna depend on the artists, right? Like I always say, it's not about the martial art. It's about the artist, and it's up to you to make it work. And the more tools and more understanding that you have in different aspects of fighting, then yeah, you're gonna make things work, regardless if some people say it's a BS technique or whatever. So I hope that made sense. Let's get back to the video here and see what kind of other nonsense or lies Rokas has picked up since his awakening from Aikido. But there's some people say that like he was just in a bad Aikido school to begin with. Like I wouldn't know, but some people talk about that. And that if he was actually at a good school, then he would have been a lot better at it, and he wouldn't have been as opposed to it now. It's like an overreaction that he had. Like I was lied to for a million years, and now I know it's all and it's okay. It happens. Like I was kind of like that too when I discovered BJJ. I was like, oh my god, this is the best thing. MMA, everything else is crap. And then after that, I realized through one of my buddies who I who taught me a lot of who helped me with my striking in the past about year and a half. Like he was doing a lot of like TMA, so traditional martial arts, and then he opened up my eyes again to all that, because I spar with him on a regular basis, and he like yeah he beats my ass good, Anyways, hey Ricardo. Okay, so only place that offers judo near me only has classes 2 times a week, 1.5 hours a class. Is that enough to get good, or should I start BJJ where they offer 6 days a week? You mean to get good at judo? Yeah, I think 2 days of hard judo is enough. Honestly, like you need, and then you could do like BJJ the other like 4 days. Actually, you should take a rest day at least once a week. To be honest, everybody needs that. But yeah, it's more than enough. So it depends what your goal is. But if you want to get good at judo, it's fine. 2 times a week, man. You're gonna see like judo practices are tough on the body. So that's what I was doing for a very long time. I was when I started judo when I was 36, I was only training 2 times a week. Now back then, I had the opportunity to train 3, like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But Friday, my coach wasn't there, so it was other senseis, and they were more focused on like kata and self defense and technique and all that. And I at that time I didn't see that as beneficial to me. So I just like no, I just want to spar. I just want to do randori. I just want to fight. I want to go. So that's why I didn't go. But in retrospect, I should have gone. I should have gone. It would have made me a better judoka, faster. And yeah, so that's a little bit of regret there. So for those of you guys who like are starting judo now 2 times a week, yeah, that's solid, man. Like you can get good with judo, and then you on the other days you could do other stuff. Let's see, 2 times a week. Well, because if you do BJJ a lot, you're gonna get better at BJJ, so to speak, right? And if you do judo, you're gonna get better at judo. But if you could do both, that would be excellent, excellent. You'll be an absolute killer. But you'd have to add in some wrestling, some wrestling. Wrestling is great. That's what I'm doing now, and I've been wrestling now for maybe about a year. Woof. Really, really fun, man. You get to grab the legs and all that, and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And it teaches you like it develops different attributes, with wrestling. So it's pretty interesting. And then so if you do BJJ, judo, and wrestling, like you got it pretty much covered, man. When it comes to grappling. Grappling beast. All right, let's go back to this.
Yet what they learned back then wasn't known as judo. At the moment, judo was still commonly referred to as Kano jiu-jitsu. So then,
I'm not sure about that. I think it was already judo, but maybe.
the Gracies adapted the name to themselves and named Gracie jiu-jitsu. Well, that's
Gracie jiu-jitsu. Yeah. And you know why? Like Japanese jiu-jitsu, it's written ju as in Ju jitsu. And then because the Gracies wanted to, like make it their own and differentiate it, so they added the J I U, like Gu jitsu, which I actually asked my wife about that. Like, what does that mean? And she's like, that means nothing. That's what I remember. Don't quote me on that. All right, let's go back to this video.
other Brazilians who also learned from Maeda started from their style, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Meanwhile, in 1964, judo became an Olympic sport, which began heavily influencing its evolution. While the past judo and BJJ were equally proficient on the ground, with some matches being won by the Brazilians and others by judoka, in order to become more distinct and interesting for viewers to watch, judo began changing the rules increasingly more, favoring exciting stand-up throws and very little ground sparring. While some could rightfully say that BJJ lately has been facing
Totally dishonorable. No good. Butt scooting. Look at that. Like, look at that. I obviously it's sport, but that looks horrible. Horrible. It's like that's the ultimate shame as a man to like just sit down like that, right? Obviously, it's like guys don't learn how to do takedowns, man. Learn how to do takedowns. You gotta go wrestle. Gotta go do some judo. Do some sambo. Do some greco. But learn how to like stand and take the guy down, or yeah, don't just sit on your butt like that. And in jiu-jitsu, I mean, you could pull guard, sure, but I mean, you just gotta keep in mind it's sport, right? Like jumping on a guy like that, like of course, if you do that in on the streets, the guy just has to like, you know, put his body weight as you're doing that, slam your head to the ground, and you're out. Dead. Don't do that. Okay. So no butt scooting, guys. If you want to be an OG or a young G coming up, who eventually gonna be OG, like really learn how to take down, And even if you do BJJ and you have no time, no school possibly, guys, no excuse. You can go to Judo Fanatics, right, or BJJ Fanatics, or whatever, and learn takedowns. But you got to learn takedowns, man. It's can't be sitting down like that. It just looks too. Shall I say it? Too wimpy. Wimpy. Yeah, we'll just use that word.
A similar danger of the sport aspect watering down practice, many consider that if it came to full-on sparring, BJJ would dominate judo because of judo's limited moveset. Whether that's true, we will see in this sparring. We began the first.
Well, we ain't seeing shit, homie. First of all, you're fighting like a midget here who's not that explosive and obviously not very well muscled because, or maybe his gi is just too big. But in all honesty, like when you see guys like in the Olympics or international, like what do you call it, competitions for judo, those guys are jacked underneath, and that's why their judo gis are, and like they look like nice and fitted and all that. But if you're not like jacked and you didn't like shrink your gi properly, like that's the only way you can get it to size more or less. Like it's a potato bag. That's what you look like you're wearing. It's literally a potato bag, and we're talking about like when potatoes were sold to you like in a cotton bag type of thing. Not like just like paper bag, but like yeah, material. Cotton, fabric. It was like a cotton fabric bag. That's how it was. And so it's like really big, and you just look like like it's horrible. It's not like BJJ gis are nice. They're thin. They're fitted. Like no, judo gis are horrible. But I mean, look, dude. Oh, I think he's gonna get to like the weight soon. Also, like the size difference in the weight. Okay. Dead inside. Can you still be thrown at the age of 60 in judo? Is it still dangerous? I wonder how people train judo in their 60s. Well, I've seen people compete, yeah, in that age, like 50. I've seen guys at 50 compete. I think 50 for sure. 60, I'm not sure. But there's also judo competitions for guys who are, they're like, you could be 90, 80, and yeah, you could still be thrown at 60. I mean, if you've been doing judo long enough and you're in shape and you know how to break fall and your joints are intact and all, not a problem. And that's why the resistance training is important, because if you do a lot of resistance training, and it's going to make your bones more dense, harder. And if you're breaking, falling all the time and all that, like that, your body will be adapt to that, right? Also, there's a lot behind it too. I mean, you got to eat properly, sleep properly, blah, 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 all that. But you could stay in shape for long ass time. I really believe that you could die a strong and honorable death. So that means you don't have to, go to hospital and take pills and, shit yourself, wear a diaper, and like die in a horrible way like that. You could live strong and be strong your whole life. And then of course you'll slow down a little bit if you're not, on TRT or anything like that. But what's going to happen is ideally you go to sleep and you never wake up. Done, or you get a heart attack while you're doing a judo comp. Like 80, 90 years old, which would be actually pretty cool. All right, so let's what do you think the best striking art to go with judo or BJJ? Boxing or Muay Thai or kickboxing? Well, I don't think there's a best. It's going to depend on. But I definitely think boxing, you're going to pick it up faster because you're focusing on just the hands, you know, and that's already a really good like if you want speed, right? So you focus on judo and just boxing, you're gonna get good at boxing. Like it's because it's just your hands, so you're gonna get good at your hands really fast, and it'll be easy to like integrate that into your judo. Now, Muay Thai kickboxing, the problem is that the more things that you have to learn, okay, the longer it's going to take you. So if you have to learn, for example, in Muay Thai, you have to learn how to clinch, you have to learn how to kick, you have to learn how to punch, you got to learn how to check kicks and all that. Like that's a lot of things to learn. And while it's fun and all that, but you might kind of suck at all of that for a long time, right? Whereas boxing, like, dude, if you do like 6 months to a year of boxing with your judo, man, your hands are going to be lit, you know? But then you won't really understand how to deal with leg kicks. So there's that, right? But your hands, but once you do, once you are able to adjust your stance and check kicks and, you know, like certain things in boxing you don't want to do. You don't want to dip too low when you're slipping, and bobbing and weaving can be very dangerous, right? Because you can get kicked in the face. But I would say the best striking art to go with, definitely Muay Thai, right? Muay Thai. Short answer. Okay, what's the next question here? Oh, I keep forgetting to show like the what do you call it? I forgot I could show the questions here. How has the leg grab ban affected judo self-defense potential? Oh, huge, huge. I mean, you know, like if you can't grab, like, you know, lower than, like, it's the other half of the body. So, you know, it does affect, right? But I mean, in terms of let's see here, self-defense, I mean, when you think about it, for self-defense, you don't want to go for a double leg necessarily, right? Because you don't want to like go down there, smash your knees, potentially have the guy sprawl on you and end up on top, and then you gotta like fight your way, you know, back up off the ground. Like that kind of, you don't want to necessarily do that. But grabbing the legs, I mean, yeah, of course it does affect. Like me, like I wouldn't really grab anybody's legs in a self-defense scenario unless it was kind of like a given, you know? So let's say, you know, I punch and all that, and then I do it Khabib style. So I would just like, you know, set it up, boom, come in for the takedown, but I would get him off. I would get him off balance, smash my head against his chest, you know, go for that single, you know, single / high crutch, right? And then from there, I would work it, you know, I would work some kind of takedown from there, but I wouldn't like go for a classic double leg or single leg takedown, knees touching the ground. So I hope that kind of answered your question, but yeah, that hopefully that made a little bit of sense. But of course it affects, right? Like if you can't grab the legs and you're not practicing grabbing the legs, like it takes away a lot for sure. Okay, so next one up here. Okay, John D. Thomas. Rokas tells a story like a woman. It takes him 30 years to get to the point on his videos. I still like him. I listen to him at 3x speed though. You know, on YouTube, there's only 2x. But I think if you listen on maybe other platforms, you can go free or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I like when I listen to all my videos on YouTube, it's always like it's always 2x now, you know, for the most part. Unless somebody talks really fast and then I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta slow them down a little bit, you know, 1.5, 1.75. But yeah, I agree with that. He's very soft spoken. So, you know, like it is what it is, guys. Listen, he talks like a girl. All right. And very I agree. But okay, let's continue with the video. Let me just read this here.
Stronger judo versus judo. Well, it has to be a complete advantage.
Aha. Finally, let's look at this. 190, and let's round it off. You know, Casper, the friendly slow judoka, non-explosive, is 160. 190, 160. 190, 160. So that's if my math is correct, that's 30 pounds. 30 pounds. That's a lot of freaking weight to have on someone. And you guys got to remember, Rokas has like he's not fat. He has like a six pack, right? Like he's lean. So that weight is muscle, you know? That's a huge difference. There's like weight categories for a reason, guys, in combat sports. Like guys who talk about like, oh, technique, conquer all. Yeah, 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 whatever. You're crazy, you know? Bullshit to a certain extent. Yeah. But 30-pound weight difference, dude, that's insane. Like I got like guys who are my weight are whooping my ass. Even lighter are whooping my ass at the national level and and international level. So if guys lighter than me are whooping my ass, and guys who are like just maybe 10 pounds or 20 pounds heavier, I forget about it. So already this is huge right there. Was that another comment? Oh no, we're good. Okay.
which makes a big difference. My judo experience consists only of a few judo classes. In order to make sure I grapple by the judo rules, I asked Jasper to explain them to me. That was a very confusing experience, as there were a whole number of complicated rules. For example, such as that I only can grab the opposite of hell for a limited amount of time, among many other complicated rules that I did my best to understand. Limited by the rules, which I still had a hard time understanding, I did my best to defend myself from being thrown by actively defending Jasper's grips and keeping my legs away from him to prevent him sweat. I went for a couple of my own judo throw attempts, but Jasper shut me down. Meanwhile, he managed to get at least a few successful takedowns, which would have given him points in judo competition since my back touched the back. After the throw was executed, we stood up and didn't continue to grapple.
Okay, I take that back. He's not that bad, Casper. Obviously, he's not going 100%. And there's a reason for that, guys. Because if you go up against a guy who doesn't know like judo and break falling, actually, Rokas probably knows how to break fall because he did Aikido. But I mean, it's not the same thing. There's no sparring in Aikido, so you're not like practice falling like for a real throw kind of thing, right? And obviously, Casper's being nice and doesn't want to smash the living shit out of him and break his knee, break his neck, break his shoulder, break. So yeah, Casper did get the better of him like judo versus judo rules. He was smashing him whole time, right? So I yeah I take that back, but when I was looking at the other clips, yeah, he looked like garbage, but hey, sometimes we look good and sometimes we don't. That's okay.
On the ground, since that's where the judo sparring would essentially end. For the rest of the attempts, Jasper wasn't as successful, since I kept using the sprawl and my weight advantage to defend against him.
Yeah, you see, so like if Casper was same height, same weight, Rokas wouldn't have been able to do anything, or at least be very inefficient when it comes to sprawling out or whatever, or like doing muscling himself out of like bad situations. And also like they're not going hard; it's sparring, right? So yeah, some of those attempts are pretty weak, man. Like from Casper's part. So he's not like he doesn't suck, but he's not like wow. But it could just be that he's chilling. But this is not a good representation of judo. Like it's just not right.
My BGG coach, who was observing the sparring, also pointed out that it was extra difficult for Jasper to spar with me since I was mostly being defensive. I kept my
Yeah, and that's why like if somebody's defensive and all that, of course it's harder. But I mean, there's ways around that. Like if you know, wait, are they still doing judo versus judo here, or are they like judo versus BJJ? Wait.
arms extended forward and didn't show much initiative. Meanwhile, if I tried to pull out more of my own moves, Jasper would have had many more chances to throw me. That's one of the reasons why judoka received penalties in competition for being too passive. Jasper also told me that some judokas punching and shoving to show activity while not allowing the other person to make any throws. Eventually, the thing of actually supposed lack of activity of the other contender. Gasper also gave me great advice that during my judo takedown attempt, I was focusing too much on using my legs and I was not putting enough energy into using my arms to create leverage. After finishing the judo versus judo sparring, we moved on to the
Okay, yeah. So that was judo versus judo, guys. So yeah, obviously, I forgot what Rokas was talking about, but whatever. Let's continue.
BJJ versus judo. By the way, speaking of these, the one I'm wearing here is made by Gold.
Nobody cares. Well, that's not true. That's not true. I shouldn't say things like that. Wait. I just want to go back for a second here and see what Rokas was talking about when, and just add my little 2 cents.
Thrown by actively defending Gasper's grip. I asked Gasper to explain it to me. That was a very confusing experience.
Oh yeah, so Rokas was confused about the rule set. I mean, I think maybe Casper just didn't know how to explain shit because honestly, I could explain that to you guys in 2 seconds. Don't do this, don't do this, don't do that. Boom, done. Do this, and like there's not a million things. Don't grab the legs. Don't like a grip on both sides for more than 3 seconds, and that's it. Like how many more? There's not that many rules. So I don't see why Rokas is confused. So either Casper shit at explaining or Rokas. Just a dumbass. Oh, by the way, guys, like when I make fun of people and all that, of Rokas, calling him a dumbass, maybe, and then Casper, the non-explosive ghost of judo. I mean, I say that with a lot of love, right? So I'm. It doesn't mean I don't love you guys. I love everybody, right? So I'm just poking fun a little bit. Oh, let me answer a question here, Ricardo. You think there's a big difference between Gracie Jiu-Jitsu that says they focus on self-defense? I'm trying to do the BJJ, the Brazilian accent, more than BJJ says it's more for sport. Wait, sorry. Focus on self-defense more than says it's more. What I've seen, both don't really focus on that much stand-up. Yeah, they both suck at stand-up. So you're gonna have to learn your stand-up elsewhere, unless your coach, your BJJ coach has a background in like wrestling or sambo or judo or anything like that. Like yeah, they both suck at takedowns. Now, is there a big difference? You know what? This is what I think happened. It's that the Gracies like were starting to lose in the jiu-jitsu world. They weren't as competitive anymore because there was a lot of guys coming up and who weren't part of the Gracie clan, and they were like winning competitions and all that. So for them to differentiate themselves, they started going no, we're for self-defense. Gracie Jiu-Jitsu is for self-defense. It's not to butt scoot, and sport is sport, but we're a self-defense system. And I'm not saying they did it solely because of that, because I do believe that Gracie, I mean, it was tested in the UFC, right? And that's how it started. Like they set up the whole UFC so that they could show like, the power of, their style of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And that was like, everyone fights everyone, no holds barred, no time limit, no ref, no gloves, freaking no rules. I think the only thing you couldn't do was like poke a guy's eye out. That's it. But you could smack him in the balls, you could punch him in the throat, you could pretty much do everything. It was crazy. So definitely it is something that came from fighting, from Vale Tudo, from Brazil. So I believe that, yeah, like it wouldn't be 100% correct or fair to say that, but I do believe there was some kind of, they had to kind of pivot their marketing a little bit because they wanted to keep it Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. So they had to push an aspect of their Jiu-Jitsu that was different from sports Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, so I think that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu probably focuses more on fundamentals and being able to defend yourself as well. Whereas a lot of schools, sports Jiu-Jitsu, well, it's just sport, right? So there's a lot of things, guys, here's the thing, right? I actually believe that if you wanted to learn jujitsu for for the streets, for self defense, and at the same time you'd be able to compete. That wouldn't be a problem. Then Gracie Jiu Jitsu might actually be better than just a traditional jiu-jitsu school because they might be more sports oriented. And here's the thing with jiu-jitsu as a sport. If you practice jiu-jitsu as a sport, like there's like about, I'm just going to throw a crazy number out here, but there's maybe like, I don't know, anywhere between 70 to 90% of the stuff that you do in sport, you can't get away with in real life. Hell, even in the cage, completely different. So this is actually a video in itself, but I'm going to talk about it right here. If you want to cancel out BJJ, I mean, elbows to the head. If you could give elbows to the head, finito. For any guy who trains purely sports BJJ, he'll get knocked out. F out. Knock the funk out. I said funk. I didn't say, the word. Because, I think they demonetize you if you do that. So, yeah, you get knocked the funk out. 100%. Now, if you're on the ground, I decide to knee you in the face. That cancels out a lot too. So elbows, knees, head stomps, soccer kicks, like those four things. I mean, that kind of nullifies a lot of BJJ stuff, man. A lot of sports BJJ stuff. So you might actually be better if you're more self-defense focused to do Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. But I've never done Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, so I can't like speak on it with authority. But that's my take on it. And like, I'm a big fan of Crone Gracie. I remember his jiu-jitsu was like basic. It was fundamental. It was sound. It was, and he just did those things at a very high level. And it was amazing. It wasn't no fancy schmancy stuff. He just understood like a principle, right? For BJJ. Anyways, I wonder what he's doing now. If any of you guys know, let me know. All right, let's continue the video. Back to Rokas, the woman. It wasn't me, Rokas. Somebody called you here a woman, and I kind of disagreed with him, the way you talk.
Number of complicated rules. For example, such as that I only can grab the opposite lapel for a limited amount of time.
Blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Rules that I did my best to understand. Limited by the rules, which I still had a hard time understanding, I did my best to defend myself from being thrown by actively defending Gasper's grips and keeping my legs away from him to prevent being swept. I went first upon my own judo throw attempts, but Gasper shut me down. Meanwhile, he managed to get at least a few successful takedowns, which would have given him points in judo competition since my back.
Yeah, let me move this a little bit forward. Blah, blah, blah.
For the rest of the attempts, Gasper wasn't as successful since I kept using the sprawl and my weight advantage to defend against him.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you want to pro crazy stuff like that, like, because after a while, like Rokas is understanding, like, okay, like, he got caught a couple of times, so then after that, like, he's not gonna get caught again, right? You have to set it up differently, and so that's what's kind of happening here. Casper, the non-explosive judoka, is just not mixing it up properly, and like if all he has is judo, then obviously that's all he's gonna be able to do. But I would have Greco'd Rokas, to be honest, because I know wrestling, right? So like I would have came in and like picked him up from the back, slam his ass. Yeah, and some of the stuff Casper friendly non-explosive judoka is doing is he's kind of being like it's highly telegraphed what he's doing. And I don't know if he's just doing that out of respect or maybe he's just, but yeah. Or just, trying to be keeping Rokas safe, because man, if when you throw, you got to throw high speed. Like you can't go slow, if you wanted to. And for most situations, right? Some situations you can like, if you get proper setup, proper kazushi, yeah, you could smash. right, and take it slow, and the guy can't do anything. But I don't think Casper would be able to do that against Rokas because not strong enough. Like he looks kind of skinny. Oh wait, got some comments, guys. Let me read this. Yeah, so I got to read this. Get into the habit of reading these comments, showing it on like the screen before actually reading it before I show it on the screen, just in case somebody's saying something inappropriate, right? All right. Sorry, where was I? Okay. Okay, this is cool. All right, John. Sport is important, but it codifies a martial art with a rule set. Judo has everything. One can specialize in anything, sport, newaza, or look at the police stuff Shadi discussed. Yep, I agree. I think sport allows you to train safely, because there's rules and all that. So you're able to go harder and develop, right? But of course, you got to, train sport, but still have a martial art mindset. So think street. Actually, Red Chuck said something really interesting. It was martial arts is, oh man, I wrote it down somewhere. I'm going to have to find it again. Anyways. Okay, next one. Hey, Eric, fellow judoka here. Awesome, man. Love it. That judoka isn't that good, right? Because I want to be fair. I don't want to make these type of videos where I'm looking at something and I'm like, oh, that guy sucks, but this is just what I see, and based on my experience and also like on my own skill set where I am right now, and I'm just like, yeah, because I've seen like black belts that suck in judo and brown belts that suck in judo, and and then I've seen some who are really good. Some guys like they're brown belt, but they just don't want to go get their black belt because they don't believe in it. Like, I ain't paying, and I ain't doing all that crap and blah 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 blah. Like, screw these old guys, and so they stay brown, but they've been brown for like freaking 10 years, but they're really good. It's like, wow, So that's the thing in judo. You have that disparity of skill there. You got like good black belts, horrible black belts, and then like freaking international, national level black belts. But in jiu-jitsu, it's different. You're never going to meet, at least this is my experience and my understanding, you're never going to meet a black belt in BJJ that sucks. It's like, he's not going to suck. He's going to, he has real high level, because he's been doing it for 10 years or more. Anyways. Eric Lee, how's your kata coming along? Oh man. Yeah. So with the kata thing, man, it's like, it's coming. There's still a lot of time left. And where I'm going to learn my kata right now, it's not very motivating because of one of the senseis that teaches there. He's kind of crazy. Let's put it that way. Very, very disparaging, insulting, and he's just there to scream at you, and he doesn't make any sense. I think he's kind of has dementia possibly, So it's like, I feel as though, but I got my uke though, so that's really amazing, and we train together at my club on Saturdays as well, and so we're doing our own thing on the side, and but the kata is going actually pretty good. I know it by heart now. Now it's just refining it. But then when I show up to that course on Tuesday and Thursday, I'm just there being yelled at and being insulted, which is okay, I take it because I'm okay, whatever. I got thick skin. I don't really, but it's not conducive to me actually improving. But then when I work my uke on Saturday, it's actually pretty productive. So what we're actually, I'm going to have him on, I'm going to try and get him on soon, maybe next Thursday. And what we're going to do is we're going to have we're going to watch international level kata competition. And we're going to break it down. Me and him, we're going to study it together. I'm going to do it on my own. He's going to do it on his own. But we have to come to agreement. Okay, look at this. This is how many steps you got to take. This is how you bow. This is how many seconds. This is how you pull this. Like you go like this, you go like that, blah, blah, blah. You tie your belt. And so we could time it perfectly. And, we're going to really like drill down on the little details that we both have to agree on. So we could do the kata competition, because we're going to do the kata competition so that once you do the kata competition, like first of all, you could win a medal, which is I'm all about winning the medals, guys. Beating some ass, competition, training, and that motivates me at this point. Like I used to be scared of competition because I wasn't used to it, but then I learned to really enjoy it, just because I wanted in my mind to be a guy who was a competitor, right? And so I just did it until I got it, and now I got it. I really do enjoy it. So we can win a medal, but even if we don't win a medal, but we get a score on 100 of I think it's like 73, it's still a pass. And if I pass, like you get certified, certified or accredited for your kata at that competition. So then when you go to do your exam for the official black belt exam, you don't have to do the kata. You just have to do the gokyo. So the gokyo has like, was it 40 techniques? Yeah, 40 techniques. They're going to call out like, I don't know, a few of them. And you demonstrate that. You do a little sparring, choreograph more or less, and you're good, and you get your black belt. So that's the way we're going to do it. Or else, because if you do the whole exam, then you have to do the kata, and then you have to have your partner. And usually the way it works is that I go there, my uke is my uke, but then we got to switch roles, and we got to do everything. So you got to do everything 2 times and switch roles. So it could be quite stressful. So it's better to do it this way, split it up basically. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna film it at one point, and then we're gonna look at it here, and you guys will tell me what you think. And get this, my uke is he's tall, he's like 6 feet, 190 pounds, and yeah, it's gonna be a challenge, but he's very committed, and I'll take commitment and work with somebody more than somebody who has the skill but isn't serious and motivated to do anything. That's what happened with my last uke. He was a young kid. His dad was forcing him basically, and the guy wasn't feeling it. I tried to talk to him. I'm like, hey man, like, are you okay? You want to do this? I understand like you're kind of forced to be here and all that. He's like, just mumbled something like a dumbass. So I just kicked his ass to the curb. I'm like, F you, because I should have gotten my black belt in June. In June, I should have done my exam. I should have gotten my black belt, but because of that kid that I couldn't trust, like I wasn't willing to invest my time and then have that fool not show up, And his dad was telling me like, "Oh, I'll make him show up." I'm like, "Yeah, listen, kid, you want to go party, you want to go do other stuff, you want to, yeah, go have fun, man, go have fun. Like, but you do your thing, you do you, I do me, whatever. I'm not down to getting somebody's dad to force him, some kid to do something for me. Like, got better things to do. All right. Oh, by the way, guys, I don't know if you guys saw the community post. My first coach who brought me into judo, basically gave me his black belt, right? Because he's not going to be here when I pass my exam, and he was the one who got me started in judo. He got me to brown belt, and he's not going to be here because he's moving back to France. So then that's why you guys see here, you got the black belt. Now this black belt actually means a lot to me, because it means that it represents a standard that he has for me. When he wanted me to become a black belt, he wanted me to fit his standards, his criterias, right? And so by him like giving me his black belt, trusting that I'm gonna get it officially, but I can't wear this right now until I get the other one. I'm gonna wear this one for competition for the most part, and yeah, probably at training too, but competition for sure, because I'm gonna do good with his belt. But he believes in my skill level, and I fit like the standards and his criterias of what he thinks a black belt should be. And that's why this black belt means like a lot to me. A lot. It means that I am a black belt. My skill set, black belt level. My understanding, black belt level. Only thing is I gotta go pay, do the exam, and show, kata and gokyo, which is fine. Like, I used to have something against that. I was like, it's kind of bullshit. Like, what is this? Yeah, I could fight. I deserve a black belt. But no, not true. You do need to understand technique and kata, because you have to understand where this comes from. You have to understand like the what do you call it? The essence of judo, the techniques, right? It's like the alphabet. You can use it afterwards however you want, but you need to know the alphabets and how to put them together. Because how are you going to teach this if you don't understand the alphabet? Imagine you know how to talk, right? And but you don't know the alphabet. Can't read or write. How are you going to pass this down to someone? It's the same idea. That's the best analogy I can come up with for now. But you need to do this. Now, of course, if you just know how to read and write, but your talking kind of sucks, your communication sucks, then yeah, there's that too, right? There's a lot of that going on. But I could communicate, I could talk, so that represents skill level, for judo. Now I just gotta, go learn all my ABCs and demonstrate that I'm not a dumbass or a veggie. Okay, on to the next one. Next question. Alejandro, Rokas come to Melbourne, Australia, and I give an orange belt. We're about to spar with or to start with? Okay, I thought you meant like giving him orange belt in judo to spar with. That's what I was laughing at. But if you were gonna give him a orange belt, well, no, he's got to start from the beginning. It's like white, no belt, But yeah, all right. Put Solomon with the dude in the black gi. You can beat him with one arm. Yeah. Solomon, guys, for like, I'm gonna have him on the show, on a live stream podcast. I think he's in Toronto right now, training, doing his thing, and he's gonna come back soon enough, and then we're gonna get on a podcast. We just haven't been able to coordinate, but yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, Solomon is like international level, like black belt, and yeah, he's good. Like you guys might have seen him in some of the videos that I post in the shorts. Oh, but you got to go to OG Fitness Clips, right? That's the channel where like I post a lot more shorts and stuff like that. So Solomon can beat him with one arm, definitely, 100%. One arm, one leg, 100%. Okay. Do the Kata Clinic by Judo Ontario. Kata Clinic, Judo. Yeah, but I'm in Montreal, Quebec, man. So I don't know if they have judo I don't know if they have that here in Montreal. But I mean, yeah, that's a thought. But I'm already doing like the course, and then after that, I got my partner, the competition. But it's good to know. You pick a number, and they call out the throws. Not sure what you mean by that. Pick a number and you call out the throws. Make sure your uke don't jump. They call that. Yeah, that's gonna be something to work on. All right, let's see. Ricardo, does it make a difference to learn from a 5th degree black belt or a 2nd degree black belt? Would you learn better from 5th degree black belt judo teacher since he has more experience? That's a very, very interesting question, man. Here's the thing. Just because somebody has a 5th or 6th dan, it doesn't necessarily translate to teaching ability. Teaching is a skill in itself. And I've met guys who are like 5th or 6th dan, and they don't teach very good, man. Honestly, like, and sometimes they're so old they can't even demonstrate the damn technique. So then you're like, oh, okay, sure, and then they're kind of stuck in their ways as well. Like I've met guys like that. So And my first judo coach, competition coach, the one who gave me the black belt, like he should have been like third, fourth, fifth dan or something like that by now. It's just he doesn't want to bother with the katas, but he's a very good teacher. He was Division One in France, and yeah, when he came here to Montreal, he was smashing everybody, man. Like a couple of years back, him and like all the guys from France. France is like very high level in judo, guys, and yeah, so doesn't mean anything, man. Like fifth dan, like it's gonna depend. It doesn't mean that they're bad, but it doesn't mean that they're good either. It depends on that individual, like how their ability to teach, right? Like so, my judo coach, like he was like first dan, like shodan, just black belt, and he was an amazing teacher, amazing. And I've been around like in the judo scene, like experienced different teaching methods from different coaches and all, and he was really really good. And even right now, like the coach that my coach right now, who I'm training under, Nick Tritton, right at Tritton Performance, and like he has his second dan, and he was in the Olympic twice. A whole bunch of like accolades in terms of judo accomplishments, even in wrestling, man. And he's a great teacher, but he's second dan. But it's just because he doesn't have time to go through all of that, to prepare, to do the katas, to blah 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 blah. He just doesn't have the time, man. And it's not really all that important at this point. It's kind of just like a I wouldn't say bragging rights, but kinda. It's just like, look, I got fifth dan, which represents like it just means that like your katas, and you're more deeper into the martial art aspect and history of judo. But it doesn't necessarily make you a good teacher at all. But if everything being equal, meaning two guys, right? Very good teachers. One has more experience and is like fifth dan, and one is second. Then obviously it would be better to go with the more experienced guy, just because he has more experience. Cool. All right, let's back to the video. And it's an 8-minute video, and we're only like 3 minutes through. But hey, that's what this is about, right? It's not just me staring at camera, watching video, and talking to myself. It's talking to you guys as well.
My BJJ coach was observing this point, also pointed out that it was extra difficult for them.
Did you see that? He's wearing like a rash guard with a tuxedo looking thing. That's not very manly. Dork. Okay. Notice what's in what do you call it? Notice what's in Rokus's mouth as a mouthpiece. No, guys, if you're gonna go do judo, don't wear a mouthpiece. I did that too at the beginning. I was wearing mouthpiece. I'm like, oh, it's pretty dangerous. It's explosive, it's dynamic, we're moving, and then. But no, like for BJJ, for wrestling, totally get it. Yeah, people smash into your face, and you're on the floor. You get knees, elbows, you get the head, and all that. But judo, it's so rare, man. I mean, 7 years now, I never got like nothing. And nobody in judo, like, but like whatever. But if you want to do it. It's fine. But you're gonna realize at one point, like, you know what? Whatever.
Mostly being defensive. I kept my arms extended forward and didn't show much initiative. But meanwhile, if I tried to pull up more of my own moves, Jasper would have had many.
Oh yeah, we did. We're already here. Blah blah. Let me advance it.
They keep pushing and shoving to show activity while not allowing the other person to take any throws. Eventually, they would naturally switch poses, lack of activity of the other contender. Jasper also gave me great advice that during my judo down attempt, I was focusing too much on using my legs, and I was not
blah blah blah.
Leverage. After finishing the judo versus judo sparring, we moved on to WGTV versus judo. By the way, speaking of these, the one I'm wearing here is made by Gold BJJ. I was looking for the best gi out there, and after I found Gold BJJ.
Oh yeah, so this is where we were doing the BJJ thing, and I was kind of laughing at him. Oh, let me just answer my buddy Ben here.
BJJ as one of the top recommendations, it didn't disappoint me when I got it. It also has a cool For the Journey slogan on the beat.
For the journey. I'm not gonna say the word, but it starts with Gay. Not that I have anything against people who are Gay. I'm just saying, pretty GY. All right, let's go back to the comment section and communicate with the boys. Blah 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 blah. Omar, hey Omar, how's it going, man? Are the katas in judo are like katas in karate? Not really, because we do it like you have to be two people to do the katas. So you need uke. Uke is the one who's gonna like take the fall, the fall guy, and then tori, the guy who's executing. So you have to have a partner. So it's not at least not the kata that I'm have to demonstrate. Maybe actually I think no, all the katas like not, all of them is with partner. Like there's someone attacking you and you're messing them up. That's pretty much it, or demonstrating throws on it. All right, now don't fear the belt, fear the back patch. Yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely. So yukemi means break fallen. For those of you guys who might not know, I know a lot of guys do, but if you don't, it's all good. We're here to learn from each other. Yeah, so it's the back patch, absolutely, man. If it's I don't remember what gold red means, but I know gold means Olympic champ. Red, I don't know. Eric, you're gonna have to help me there. It's I'm assuming you're joking, John, but I think I saw it's a mouthpiece. It was like holding it, and it was kind of like you, but who knows? Maybe that would actually like give Rokas points on cool factor, right? If he's chewing Mentos while doing this, and that would of course take away points from Casper, the friendly non-explosive judoka, because the man is chewing Mentos while he's sparring with you. Oh, that's hilarious. Da, 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 da. Grand Prix champ? Is that it? GP champ? Grand Prix. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Oh, wait. Okay. Red patch. Red back patch means world champ. Okay. And then GP. So GP here. GP champ. Grand Prix. I'm assuming that's what that is. I thought it was Olympic champ. Oh, gold or maybe gold. I don't know. All right. Let's continue with the video.
Which fits my channel game perfect. If you're looking for quality meat, I highly recommend checking them out. At the beginning,
I recommend buying the cheapest thing. Just get a used one, man. Just who cares? Doesn't matter.
of the BJJ versus Judo sparring, Gasper was able to pull off a successful judo takedown, which would have scored him a judo point. But this time, things didn't end there. I think
that's why you guys have to learn how to wrestle, man. Can't take a guy down and then just get manhandled like that. It's called shame. All right.
Gasper's exposed position after the takedown and took a top position. I continued to use my weight and escaped the half guard, took rounds, and flattened him up. I then continued to take his back and eventually ended up in a head-on position.
Well, yeah, like the dude sucks in BJJ and you outweigh him by 30 pounds, easy. Like if Rokas wasn't able to do that, there you go. So GP, gold is Olympic. Yeah, that's what I thought too. Thanks, Eric. Okay, so getting back to this. Yeah, so if Rokas wasn't able to do that to Casper, the friendly, non-explosive judoka. I love you, Casper. If you're listening, don't take it bad. Don't take it. Don't worry. It's gonna be okay. Just tap, bro. Okay, so yeah, if Rokas wasn't able to do that to him, then yeah, shame.
question where I got the submission. During the next go, Gasper started off with an Imanari roll, but after he skipped it and tapped him out again, we discussed.
Does this guy know that he's on camera? So like I wouldn't give it up that easily, man. Like, like I don't care who you are, YouTuber, famous guy, whatever. Like, like you see, this is one thing that that my judo coach, my first one. This is actually a Adidas one, right? With the approved thingy majiggy of judo, judo federation, IJF, and so he always told me, he would always yell at me like, stop smiling, stop congratulating your opponent for a good throw and all that, and like if you get thrown or you get smashed, you reset and you start again, but you go in with like a vengeance, right? But he was crazy. But there is some truth to that mindset. You can't be a clown, you know. I'm just talking in general, right? Like maybe Casper the Ghost friendly judo, non-explosive friendly judoka was actually trying hard. I don't know, but man, I feel as though he just gave it, man. Like don't do that, man. Don't do that. Like you have to have some fighting pride, right? So you can't be like, this is coming from like a guy, me, who posts his videos of me like getting thrown all the time, getting smashed. But I mean, we're sparring and stuff like that, and I don't really care, But like when it's time to go, I go, And if it's not time to go, it's not time to go, or if I'm just fooling around. But if there's cameras on me, like, well, listen, I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out on my shield. That's what I'm saying. Ha ha ha! John likes the ghost thing. Oh, his name is Casper, or was it Gasper? Whatever. Who cares? Casper. That's his name. I decide. All right, here. Beginner arm lock from Kisakatame, and he got caught as a brown belt. He needs to. Yeah, yeah. Like, should he? Shouldn't he? I don't know, man. Like, I would, that's why I'm so proud of my black belt, because I know, like even Solomon, by the way, told me, dude, like you're black belt. Like if you want, I can give you a black belt and you could wear it at the club. He even told me, I was like, or we could just ask Nick Tritton. Like he should be able to give you a black belt, and not a bunch of guys who don't even know you at the federation, taking your money, making you jump through a whole bunch of hoops and all that. Like who knows better, like if you deserve a black belt or not, like your coach or these guys who never even seen you, and they're gonna see you for the first time, demonstrating a couple of whatever. And so I understand that. And my judo coach, my who gave me the black belt, he was telling me like, man, you should have got like, this is crazy, but it is what it is. The rules are the rules, and you have to go through it if you want it officially. So just do it. But know that someone like you who started at the age of 36, went through everything you went through, competed, really dedicated to the sport and all that. Like, dude, you deserve the black belt, and you are a black belt, right? Now it's just you gotta learn your ABCs, so to speak, and then show that you know it. Then, guys, here's the thing: everyone forgets, except the guys who go like fifth dan or sixth dan and all that crap. Like I'm not saying it's crap, but I mean, if that's your thing, sure. But to the exception of those guys who really get into that aspect of the martial art, they go deep and they learn all the katas and this and that. Everyone else, once they finish, they get their black belt, and they do like the gokyo and the kata, they forget it. They forget everything. They don't even know the names anymore of the techniques. That's how, that's just how it is, man. So anyways, does he so back to like Casper getting demoted. I don't know, different clubs, different criterias, but yeah, like if I was his coach, I never would have gave him a brown belt. That's for sure. Especially, yeah. All right, let's see who's next. Facts. Hello. Yo, what's up? And there you go. All right, back to the video. We gotta finish this before. Is it like it's all 10:45 here, man? So it's been, you know. Oh yeah, I did come on late, right? Because didn't know how to use OBS.
This was far from a judo approach, and decided that he would continue to stick with judo takedowns instead to better see the differences between the two martial arts. That though did not end in his favor, as Gasper's next attempt ended up exposing.
Dude, he tried like Makikomi, man. That's a fat man throw. You have to be heavier than the guy to do that. And there was like so much space in between. Like, yeah, that was completely horrible tech. And it's a fat guy thing. It's like a heavyweight technique. Heavyweights do that all the time. They just put their weight on the guy's arm, wrap it like, and then they roll, and then yeah, they get the throw, right? But you don't do that on tall guy like this. Like you got to do drop seo, man. Go right underneath in between his legs, and then you know, and then smash his face right into the tatami, man. Jeez. All right. Okay. Facts never lie. I'm a huge fan of judo. Yeah, awesome, man. Well, you come to the right place because this is like that. It's my thing, man. Judo. All right. Hey, Micus. Am I pronouncing that right? Micus or yeah? Okay. What's up, my friend? All right. Let's see where. Can you tell us about judo ground game? Yeah. BJJ comes from judo ground game, and judo ground game, like everything. Like if you watch Shaddy's channel, if you don't, you should, and sub to it and all that good stuff. But he goes into a lot of historical, data in regards to that. And if you watch his channel, that's when you realize, oh, nothing. I mean, absolutely nothing that BJJ has in their repertoire, like, is original. Like they've been doing this since the 19 blah 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 whatever, 50s or 40s or 1900s in Japan. It's like the same old story back and forth again. The whole ground thing, this and that. Because there was a thing there too where you had like different schools challenging and fighting each other for because it's just the right thing to do. In the martial art world, we gotta know who's the man. And you gotta bust people up and steal all their students. So there was schools that use more ground game because they were they weren't able to compete or didn't want to compete like standing up. But judo back then was more complete, right? You can grab the legs and all that. So there was already like those type of clashes and wars, so to speak. With guys who were like ground guys and then like tachiwaza guys, but it was all judo. Anyways. Hey Ben, yeah, thank you. Hey, we're 11. Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and helps out the algo, and I appreciate it, man. Helps me out a ton. Eric, nah, I'm 81 kilos. I do harai. Okay, yeah, harai, uchimata, makikomi, but yes, don't do it on heavier. Okay. Harai. Wait, I'm having a mental block here. Hari, Uchimata. Obviously, I know Uchimata. Okay, I see what you mean. I think it's like a variant. Yeah, there's a lot of variants in judo, man. Like you'll do this, that. You'll like remix certain parts of certain techniques at different places, and then it gets pretty funky, So you got to make it your own, but you still have to learn your ABCs. Hence, I believe in doing the kata and going through like the exam and demonstrating the gokyo and all that, because if you want to pass this on, you got to pass it on correctly. And if you don't know the ABCs, or at least you could forget your ABCs, but you got to be able to go back and like read up on it and be like, okay, I got it. Now I can go and teach my class to beginners or whatever. So back to what Eric is saying, but don't do it on heavier uke. Yeah, of course, right? So Casper, you're a fool, man. You got to change clubs. Man. Go better club. Or if you have, like, you're in Italy, don't they have good clubs in Italy? I mean, you got the what's his name, Basili, Fabio, or yeah, Fabio Basili. I mean, yeah, he's great. I don't know, like, how come you not good? Ah, okay, let's see here. Facts never lie. I hear BJJ far more superior on the ground. Yeah, yeah, that's the tendency, but nah, not true. Not quite true. Different, and it's just a way of BJJ trying to promote themselves, but the problem with judo is that they suck at marketing. That's really my take on it, and because they're so humble, respectful, it's Japanese, it's cultural, so they're not about like boasting. We smash you, we're very good. You nothing. Like, they're not about that. But and that's why, like, they don't market themselves as well as you know as jiu-jitsu, right? So I guess maybe that is my purpose in life, to make judo great again. Not that it's not great, but you know what I mean, like, popularity wise. BJJ is coaching judo. Well, actually, BJJ had no stand-up takedowns. Gosen judo, that's judo. That's really, really fun. Like, I did a competition. I don't know if I told you guys. Yeah, I'm sure I did. But I did a competition like before the last lockdown, and yeah, it was good. It was a good time, man. Like, I'll probably I'll probably do it again when next time they have it. Okay, what else here? I'm not sure if judo ground game is enough for self defense. Well, for self defense, you don't want to go to the ground because you'll get murdered. Rule number one of street fight, of self defense, of not of survival, of not getting killed. Do not go on the ground. You go on the ground, you are an absolute imbecile, vegetable. You're like no brain. I don't know. Like, don't go to the ground. On pavement, like, think about it logically, or even try it for yourself. Go outside, sit on the ground with shorts and a t-shirt or a tank top. Yeah, roll a bit, see what happens. Just alone, just roll around, shrimp, do stuff like that. It's a bad time. And also in self-defense, if you're on the ground, you don't. If there's other people, you're kind of screwed. There's that. Like, you don't want to be on the ground, man. Like, you don't have time, and if the guy has like, something in his hand, a weapon or anything like that, that's like, yeah. So judo ground game on the ground, oh, it's more than enough, dude. Like, you don't know when you get thrown, like, oh, like, there's a thing where you throw a guy and you snap his arm. You throw, but you finish on the ground. You throw, grab arm, break, throw, grab arm, break, throw, head stomp him, whatever, finish, break. So yeah, judo, like, and yeah, so that it's not true what you're saying. That's what I'm saying, or whoever told you that. Harai, there you go. I was like, Hari. That's what I thought, Harai too, but don't worry about it. Okay. BJJ lost its philosophical site. Philosopher lost its philosophical. Don't know what you mean, bro. Don't know what you mean, but sure, it lost probably some. It lost its takedowns. Actually, it never got any takedowns. Well, they do, but I mean, like, kind of, I don't know. Not good. Not good. Don't do. What should you look for in a judo club? That's a loaded question. Like, there's a lot of things that you have to look for in a judo club. So I would say number one thing, good coach, good environment, and yeah, I think you start there. And ideally somewhere where it's not too far to your place, so you can go. Like, that helps a lot for consistency. But good coach and good environment. Yep, that's just to make a long story short, because that's a video in itself. I think I made some videos on that, but probably should do a couple more. Still good to know. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I kind of lost track of what we were talking about. Still good to know. You mean BJJ? Yeah, BJJ definitely still good. Of course. Listen, it's always good. You want to know as much as you can, right? The more you know, the better off you'll be. That's why John Danaher is always wearing. I just laughed there because John Danaher, for those of you guys who don't know, well, everybody should know him. It's the one of the coaches. He coaches at Renzo Gracie, and he's a Renzo Gracie black belt, and he's the one who created the death squat. All the guys who leg lock everybody in nogi. So that's pretty amazing. Yeah. But I don't know in what context. Anyways, my mind is fried a little bit. You know. Okay, judo is amazing with gi, but without. Yeah, like here's the thing. People say that and all that, but like because I cross train a lot, like I do wrestling, and I've done no gi BJJ because I did BJJ for 6 years, and I wrestle and then I practice my throws like without. I use a lot of my judo in wrestling as well, and also I just buy some instructionals on judo fanatics or BJJ fanatics, and I work with a lot of different type of guys and all that, and yeah, so it's just a little adjustment. Like it's no big deal, honestly. Like people make it too like it's not that hard to figure out. To be honest, watch a couple of videos on YouTube. Done. There you go. Side don't understand. Respect and humility. Yeah, definitely. That's a judo thing. If the sensei have a beer gut, goes. Eric, a lot of senseis have beer guts, man. A lot of them. Hell, my coach right now has a beer gut too. I don't think he drinks beer, but yeah, I mean he has muscle and he's super strong and all that as well. But yeah, man, that might be that could definitely be. That's definitely a red flag. That's what I'm gonna say. It could definitely a red flag, right? It's not a deal breaker, but yeah, fat sensei, no good, man. Or watch like McDojo Life. You watch his videos, like a lot of senseis in there where he makes videos about like they're really out of shape, and yeah, no good, man, no good. That's definitely a red flag. All right. What are you guys talking? I'm just like clicking on show comments like all over the place. With all sincerity, I started judo this year because you and Shadi. I'm out. Thanks for. Oh, awesome, John. Thanks for coming, and yeah, I'll talk to you on the next week. Ricardo, one of the judo schools I was looking at, sensei owner is out of shape with big gut. Sometimes like these guys, they just like, I'm not saying it's the case here, but some senseis are like, we're high level athletes, and then it just like when they stop competing, they didn't move as much anymore, and maybe they don't understand enough about nutrition and training and whatever, and they're just too busy to take care of themselves. They just let themselves go because they're just tired of all, like they've been training so hard for so long. But I think that's a wrong approach. But they could still be very good coaches, like if they're able to demonstrate technique, and you can see. Because I actually helped a fourth dan go do his fifth dan exam, and man, this guy could throw, man. He had a gut and all that, and like he wasn't in shape, but wow, he was explosive, very explosive, and his technique was crisp, very crisp. And yeah, so it's not necessarily a deal breaker, like I said, but definitely a red flag. The more important thing is, can he demonstrate? Can he teach? I think that's really important, right? I just subscribed to Rat. Oh yeah, Shadi, great guy, man. Like his channel is growing too, so I'm really happy for him. and I'll eventually, get back on a podcast and talk with them. And with as the channel grows and all that, like I want to travel and meet other judokas, other YouTubers, and other fighters, other MMA guys, because I love martial arts. Like judo is the main thing; it's my basis. Like I'm a grappler, that's my foundation. But I mean, I'm a martial artist. So martial arts to me means everything that encompasses. So anywhere it goes, you got to be able to go. So whether it's standing up, close range, small, like close range, far range, weapons, no weapons, war, whatever, you gotta understand that kind of stuff, man. Age, don't understand context. What do you know about muscle scar tissue? uh, Scar tissue, well, I know what scar tissue is, but you're gonna have to help me with that. But like maybe try to ask the question a little bit more, with a little bit more context, so I can try to answer. Is it a big deal if my boxing stance and judo stance are opposite of each other? Well, it's kind of funny because usually in judo your stance is opposite. So like let's say you're a orthodox fighter, right? Orthodox meaning right leg forward, no, left leg forward. In boxing, in judo it would be the opposite, right? But whatever you feel comfortable. There's no, like, there's rules, so to speak, of thumb, but I mean, there's always, exceptions and whatever works for you, right? Like, but it's usually opposite when it comes to your boxing stance is going to be the opposite side for judo, which it's a funny story, but I actually screwed up on that. I'm actually left-handed, so I have southpaw stance, and I should be left-handed in judo. But then we kind of didn't realize that, and my coach just kept me right-handed. He's like, "What's your stance?" And then I stood in southpaw, and then he's like, "Okay, so you're right-handed." So then I'm throwing on my right side, but I've been doing it for like 6, 7 years now. So my left side isn't what it used to be, and it kind of worked out fine because on my left side, I can't even bend my arm completely. I had surgery on my elbow because I got arm barred really hard, like 2, 3 times in a row, and 2, 3 times in like about a year, and then it just messed up, and I had to have surgery and take out like the pieces of bones and fragments of ligaments in my. So it doesn't bend like completely. I can't touch my elbow. Like if you guys see it like this, like here, see, I can touch here. I can't touch here. Like I have to work on it like really, really hard and consistently to get it back to where it was. But so me, like trying to do ippon seo on the left side, not as good as I can't have a harder time like grabbing the guy's gi. I would have to just do it like this. Anyways, I might see you at next Quebec Open. What weight class are you going to fight in for Masters? I would fight in 66. So I'm like 66 kilos. So that's like 145 something, point something. And that's what I would fight at. Right now I'm at 152. But yeah, definitely, man. Like Quebec Open is definitely a competition that I want to do this year. Like my coach, like Triton. Triton gave me like the Nick Triton. He gave us the schedule for this season, and there's a bunch because he does everything basically, like But I'm gonna pick and choose the ones that I want to do well at, and Quebec Open is definitely one of them that I want to compete at, and a couple of others. So yeah, yeah, yeah. So if you're here, yeah, let me know, man, and definitely hang out and maybe go out for food and have a drink or anything. Actually, I don't even drink anymore, to be honest. I start with left but right-handed throw. Yeah, yeah, you could switch up like that. I understand. Sometimes it's easier that way to get the grips that you want. The what do you call it? The kumikata, kumikata. Well, it's called getting old, but it's also getting funked up, right? Effed up. That's what happened. And yeah, that's part of grappling, man. Like that's gonna happen. Morote is a struggle. Yeah, man. Morote, like if you're not careful how you position your wrist, some people go like that, but you really should be like this when you're doing Morote. And shoulder can go too, man. Shoulder can go. That's why judo, like, when I tell guys like, oh, 2 times a week, 2 hard sessions a week, that's all you need for judo. Like, yeah, but BJJ I can do every day. Yeah, but that's BJJ. You're not falling. You're on the ground. Like, and even if you don't, if you're not careful, you could end up, it'll take a little bit longer, but you still mess yourself up. 81 kilos. Well, we're not in the same division. Thoughts on Sambo? Oh yeah, awesome. So, I think I made a video and talked about that recently. I think it's just not out yet. But anyways, Sambo, complete. Basically MMA with a gi jacket. When you think about it, that's what Khabib does. That's where he comes from. And look how he did. Like, obviously his striking was horrendous when he came into UFC. Got better. And yeah, so Islam Makhachev, right, is basically Khabib 2.0. Better striking, better grappling, more technical, and just as, crazy because he's from Dagestan as well. And I mean crazy in a good way. Like, man, iron mindset. So Sambo, definitely. The problem with Sambo here is that I think there's like one school, right? So if there's only one school and there's only that school, like there's the people there who are practicing Sambo, then the level isn't going to be what it should be. When you have a bigger pool of people practicing and you have a lot of clubs and all that, then yeah, then there's more potential for development at a higher level. Think of it this way. In Canada, we're only like 30 million. And I forgot what was the number we have in Canada in terms of like how many people practice judo, like black belts. And it's nothing, man. It's really nothing compared to like France, Russia, Japan. Those guys have such a huge population that practice judo, like black belts. That's why we can't really compete with them, man. Okay. Oh, John Wick also does Sambo. At least in the movie. Okay, I have developed scar tissue from overtraining. Yeah, okay, well, then, yeah, how'd you do that? Like, I mean, did you train incorrectly, overuse, because I developed, like, I got scar tissue, like, because I gave myself tennis elbow when I was a kid, like, right here. And the way I gave myself tennis elbow and it became scar tissue and all that is by throwing a ball with incorrect mechanics, right? And I did it so much and so hard that it actually messed up my elbow. So, yep, that's all I could do with that. I don't have enough. Like, I'm not sure what your question is. You might have asked it like, on the earlier question, but I forget. That's why it's better to compact the question, and then I can remember and answer right away. Since you're in Montreal, do you go to the HP team training? What's HP team training? I don't know what that is. Kamzat Chibayev says has won the gold medal at 2009 Swedish Freestyle National. Kamzat's beast, absolutely beast. Guys, they gave him Nick Diaz. This is gonna and I got an idea here because Nick Diaz on social media, like you see him complaining about, oh, I want to leave UFC, just let me go, no money, blah blah blah. And then I think that Dana just wants to, like, okay, you want to go, let me funk you up good, let me give you Kamzat, and at least Kamzat gets like a little break, and gets to get back into it and warm up a little bit. But it's like they give him Kamzat because they want Nick Diaz to get wrecked, like traumatized, wrecked, like busted up, where to the point where maybe he want to go do something else and his stock value finish, finish. Nick Diaz, no more. Like no one's gonna. People are gonna look at him and be like, "You've become tomato can. You are officially tomato can. You are officially washed up." I think that's what the UFC is trying to do by giving him Kamzat. Like, dude, did you see what like his last fight Kamzat? Like, he probably could have won that a lot easier than the way he did it, but he just wanted to kill Burns and just knock him the f out. And they just went to war, man. And wow, that guy has a chin on him. He's tough as nails. Of course, with I think that he could easily do that to Nick Diaz. Like if he just went out there and brawled, he would like completely kill him. So poor Nick. You know, like it's gonna be fun to see. Kind of like I'd like to see Nick Diaz like try to stalk and slap Kamzat, and Kamzat just beat the brakes off this guy. And like I think Kamzat's gonna kind of end his career, man. To be honest, and I think that's what Dana White like had it set up that way. You know, oh, you want out? Oh, you keep complaining? Kamzat, do your thing. You want title match? You go there and scratch my back, and I scratch your back. High performance training. Oh, you mean like at INS? No. Like like I could ask my coach to like, oh, can you like set up the paper so I could go train there. But honestly, like it wouldn't benefit me because if you go to the INS, what usually happens is that the guys there, they're all competing for a spot to be on the team and all, and they're at a certain level too. They're really good, but it's like every man for himself. So everyone's just trying to beat the living brakes out of each other, judo style, and like it's not it wouldn't be good for me, because you have to understand that if you want to progress, you have to train people who are below you in skill set, and then sometimes like you go with guys who are like your skill set, and then sometimes you go with guys who are like higher than you, right? But for the most part, you want to be playing with guys who are below you and guys who are at about the same level. And then once in a while, you mess with the big boys, right? And when I say big boys, I don't mean like size necessarily. I mean skill. Now, if you if all you do is train with high level guys that are way too advanced for you, it's not conducive to progression, in my opinion. Like think of it this way: you take a beginner and you throw him there with brown belts, and all day he's getting smashed. How fast do you think his progression is? Because he's not really getting to learn anything. He's like just defending himself. Like that's all he's doing. Let's see here. Judo breakdowns. Hey, how's it going, bro? Judo breakdowns. Is that another YouTube channel? I think so. Hey, welcome on the show. All right, so let me get back to all these questions. I'm never gonna get through the video. No, wait, let me do the video a little bit, and then I'll get back to the comments and make fun of Rokas and Casper, the friendly, non-explosive judoka from Italy.
Happens a lot.
Oh yeah, he sucks, man. Eric, you saw that? Kano, Jigoro Kano is turning in his grave.
Yoga tries to spar a jiu-jitsu player for the first time. In the following go, I brought Gasper down with a guillotine attempt and took side control, transitioned to a knee on belly, and then mount. As we were started, I went for a single leg. Then Gasper tried to throw me over into his leg. I ended up transitioning to side control.
Yeah, it's official. Casper sucks. I'm sorry. Like at first I was like, he sucks, and then I'm like, oh wait, I think let's give the guy a chance. And then Eric was like, oh, he sucks. And then I'm like watching this, I'm like, dude, he sucks, man. He sucks. I don't know if Rokas paid his ass to like, hey, be doormat, please. Please be doormat. Let me look good. Let me look good on camera. And I give you free BJJ.
Staff tape and picture. After a while, we were ready to
Rokas.
move on to Judo Nogi versus Bjj Nogi. Here, Gasper tried to go for a judo takedown, but I took advantage of his position and got his back, eventually finishing the round with a
Yeah, horrible, horrible. I mean, obviously, Casper, the friendly, non-explosive judoka that sucks from Italy, doesn't know how to wrestle, doesn't know wrist control, doesn't understand setup, like can't doesn't know how to do double legs, single legs. Actually, doesn't know much. Hmm. On top of being a brown belt that should be demoted. I didn't say it. Eric said it. All right, let me continue a little bit.
During the next throw, Gasper tried another takedown attempt, but it
What? You just try to jump on the guy's head? Like, dude, the guy's taller than you, man. You don't gotta jump on his head. Anyways.
again exposed his back, which led him to take the top position, then mount, and eventually getting the tap. My BJJ coach then jumped in to give some tips to Gasper on how to better establish grips and ability to favor.
So BJJ coach jump in to show judoka how to throw. Guys, it's not that complicated to adjust your grips unless like you suck, basically. You know, like if you have half a brain, you can figure it out, like how to grip somebody. You know, like how, you grab tricep, you don't crush here, underhook, you know, which is better. You know, if you're gonna go like over the head, well, you got to make damn sure that you know you have it tight. You have that shoulder, you're holding the shoulder properly, or you lock your hands together. So you know, and then when you throw, you don't want to roll with it. You got to throw it, and it's like smack the guy down like this way, vertical drop. You know, as opposed to like a roll, like a judo style, where you're just trying to get the shoulders to touch. But yeah, it's pretty embarrassing because one of the reasons why I wanted to like do this with the video is that he paints judo in a very bad light here, but it's kind of unfair because the guy, the Casper, the not so good judoka who should get demoted and no explosive and you know half a brain, not like good representation, right? Of because man, like I, honestly, I think that in a grappling context, but it's not really fair because I mean, I do BJJ, I've done BJJ, I mean, and I have, what do you call it? I wrestle now and you know, like I do a lot of judo as well. So yeah, I would smash focus like in grappling. Yeah. Like smash. And I'm like 150. I'd still smash, you know, smash good. All right. Like Khabib him. Anyways, let me play this a little bit more.
For a judo player, by going in deeper and adding more connection. Before moving on to the Aikido versus
Adding more connection. That makes sense. Obviously, you don't want to have too much space because then you know the guy could wiggle out of it or just you know like drop you on your face kind of thing, like push you down, push you over. Yeah. So it's official, guys. Casper, the friendly, non-explosive judoka who needs to get demoted. Like, yeah.
GG round, I got some Aikido in already by catching Gasper.
Dude, who the hell gets the wrist grab like that and then just like what? No.
With an Aikido wrist lock, which I used to transition to taking back. I then tried to take him down, but Gasper displayed good balance. So I moved the
No, Casper's balance was crap. That was nothing, man. He was like he just got lucky. That or like Rokas actually kind of didn't try too hard to be honest, and his technique was just off. Like I would have because you could go light and you can go like you can go a little bit faster than that and still be light, right? Like if you understand how to, you know, take a guy down and not like destroy him, you know, you can go faster than that. That was pretty
down to take him back instead. Although I submitted him again, it was clear that he was not an ordinary BJJ white belt and was difficult to tap out.
well, yeah, he's a blue belt, and I don't know, kind of sucked to be honest.
It was then finally time to be on a Judo versus Judo squad, where as an Judo Black Belt, I was only allowed to use Aikido technique.
Oh yeah, anyone here think that Rokas looked like a girl, like in this video back in the day when I don't know, he was maybe vegan or something like that, and didn't lift weights, had long hair, and was pale as as f. All right, go back to making fun of this guy.
Gasper used the judo. We decided to give it a shot since my last Aikido versus judo sparring was against another judo brown belt, but in that case, he was also an Aikido black belt. My
Shotty.
hypothesis was that it was extra difficult to pull off Aikido moves against a judoka who was also an Aikido black belt who knew the Aikido techniques that were coming his way in great detail. Jasper and I wanted to see how my Aikido techniques would work against someone who knows judo but doesn't know Aikido. During this sparring, I managed to get him with a full-on progression. The Aikido technique I worked on against resistance.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, if anybody wrestles, right, you damn well know that you should not be like wrist control is a big thing. Like, somebody can't just grab your hand and you let it happen like that. Like, you control the wrist, right? Like, that's an important part of wrestling. It's like wrestling 101. You got to control the wrist. Wrist control is super important. So already, like, it passes because Casper is Casper, but it wouldn't pass like at anybody who does. That's why judo and wrestling, guys, that's a crazy combination, man. And then of course, if there's not enough newaza emphasis, in at your club, and you do BJJ. So if you do BJJ wrestling and judo, yeah, like none of this matters, man. Not that it doesn't matter, but it's all funny to me because it's like, what, you fell for that, really?
I also went for an Aikido takedown called Iriminage and used it to transition to Adaku, something I could do.
Man, this guy keeps giving his back, man. Like, and the funny thing is, yeah, I understand why he does it because he thinks he's gonna throw the guy, right? Because judo, like, if the guy comes in the back, that's when you can throw him. You can do uchimata, kouchi, ouchi, whatever. You can do arai. You can do, like blah blah blah. But I mean, there's the size difference doesn't help, and also because Casper is Casper, so you guys notice I'm getting tired of saying Casper, the friendly, not so explosive judoka who needs to get demoted from Italy. Like, it's too long, so just Casper.
Success as well. For the rest of this point, though, I did take into account that Jasper, despite not being an Aikido black belt, still knew that I was going to use only Aikido moves and saw my previous Aikido versus Judo video, so it turns out he also knew what's coming. He later told me that he was keeping his distance and preventing my grips like hell. Meanwhile, Jasper went for a couple of nice Judo takedowns, which has mixed results, but what I have to say, looked great.
Yeah, telegraph, not explosive, Casper.
While BJJ and Judo used to be the same martial art, it's clear that eventually
It was never the same martial art. It was just judo. Like, it's not the same.
we moved into different directions. But still, despite BJJ's dominance during this sparring and the confusion of Judo's complicated rules, I feel that there's a lot that we can learn from each other by exposing these martial arts to each other. And I'm very grateful that I was given an opportunity to do so with a fellow open-minded individual. If you want to see how I did with my Aikido against a karate black belt in sparring, click this video right here. If you want to see the full BJJ versus Judo sparring, plus a discussion between Jasper, me, and my BJJ coach right after the sparring about the whole experience, click here. Thanks for watching, and as always, I wish you to own your dream.
Oh, shut up. Shut up, Rokas. Stop talking for now. You served your purpose. All right, let's me. Ta-da! Okay, I'm back full screen. All right, let's go for the comments here. Oh, shoot. It's like 11:30 already. I got to walk my dog, man. All right, let me just finish up on the questions quick. Okay, scar tissue. Comes out. Yeah, comes out. Gonna retire. Send Nick Diaz on his way. Okay, cool. What's this? Rick. 80-20 rule. You learn best when you're successful 80% of the time and failing 20. Exactly. That's regarding, not just training with guys who are just smashing the living crap out of you, right? It could get demoralizing. And even if you don't get demoralized, like, what are you learning? You're toughening yourself up kind of thing, but it doesn't help, right? And sometimes the high level guys, like especially at INS, at the training center, they're not there to help you. Like, they're there to help themselves smash and compete, like, for the spot for the national team. So for me, it's not beneficial because these guys have years of experience on me. So you have to be humble enough and intelligent enough to be aware of this. Like, I have 7 years of judo, whereas they have like already 15. like let's say they're 20, but they start at 5. There you go. Or they have like, even if they have like 10 years or 12 years, but the thing is, if they've been doing this full time, it's a different game, man. All right. Have you seen the Fedor and Henderson fight, and you think it was called prematurely? Man, I've seen that. I just don't remember it. It's been a while, so I can't comment on that. But like both fighters. How to get rid of scar tissue? Yeah, I don't think you can get rid of scar tissue, man. Like that's pretty much it's a scar is a scar. It's like if you get scar on the face, like maybe it's a really expensive surgery possible, but as far as I know, maybe go see a doctor and ask. But I don't have the answer for you. Who should I study? Who should I study in judo if I'm 6'1", long limbed? I'd say study a guy about that height, and who has long limbs. So who, I don't know. Like there's a lot of tall judokas, so you'd have to like look it up. Yeah. Also, like weight is going to be important too, right? Like what weight category? So you want to find a guy that's like 6'1", long limbs, like you say, and same weight as you, right? Because if you take a heavyweight and you're like not a heavyweight, then bad idea. Because the judo is going to be different. Micus, on scar tissue, find this guy called Barefoot Herbalist. There you go. See, that's what the community is for, man. 188, walk around, wait for reference. Cool, so do that. I want to see him good black belt judo. Well, I didn't understand that, buddy. Why high grip if he is taller than you? Take his hip. Referring to Rokas doing his shenanigans. Rokas doing shenanigans. I am national level, blah, but I'm sure I can smash that dude. Oh, I am not national level. Oh, you mean what do you call it? Casper, the not so good judoka. Yeah. I mean, Casper's also you're 81 kilos, right? So for those of you guys who don't know, like, let me do math here. You're bigger than him too. So if you're 81, you're talking about he's 160. So you got close to like 20 pounds on him, man. So, but that aside, yeah, like I'm sure you'd beat his ass as well. I don't think he likes judo. Who? Oh, you mean Rokas? Yeah. I think he has something against maybe Japanese martial arts at this point, because of his whole crappy experience with Aikido. He did Aikido for, X amount of years, and then turns out he got scammed. At least that's the way he felt. And then yeah, he did. Like, in all fairness, like, if you listen to his story, it's like, yeah, he got scammed, man. He got scammed hard. I got scammed too, man. I did, some martial arts that I didn't, that didn't work for me. It wasn't what I wanted, and I didn't know how to fight. Anyways, that's a long story. Is Casper look scared? Does he look scared? Or are you saying you think he looks, is that a question or is that like a statement? I'm not sure, but I don't know. I think Casper just looked like a weak guy overall, like not very, like tough, he's kind of like flimsy, like, or maybe he was just starstruck because it's Rokas, so he was being all feminine. I want to fight all these YouTubers. Like Rokas actually is talking about organizing some kind of event with martial art YouTubers so they could all, like, I think, train together or fight or some kind of tournament or something like that. Like, man, once my channel gets big enough, and like I would, definitely, I'd definitely fight some of these guys for fun, of course, like, weight divisions and all that's important because, like I'm not gonna, like, if a guy is like, unless of course I really feel I could beat his ass, but I mean, if a guy is like good, and he's like, has like 20, 50 pounds over me or whatever, I mean, yeah, that's like I'm not crazy. I recognize skill, and I know like what it means to have weight advantage. Because a lot of people have weight advantage over me. I'm not a heavy dude. Like I weigh 150, right? But yeah, man, I'd fight for sure. But with that being said, I mean, if let's see, who's a big YouTuber that you guys would want me to fight, right? Like even if he's like outweighs me, like with for enough money and for the views, and yeah, why not? Of course, man, of course, I would fight. Yeah, definitely. Like, all right, on to the next one. It's getting late up here. 178.6. Not sure what that means, but okay. Not everyone can be Steven Seagal. That's not true. At this point, guys, everyone can be Steven Seagal, man. He's rocking like a baby. Yeah, he's a meme now at this point, like Seagal. Hey, he recently, I think he did a video with karate nerd Jesse Ncat. Yeah, it was pretty funny. Yeah, Steven Seagal. Steven Seagal. He's a legend. Legendary. All kinds of craziness from that guy. He looks scared and inexperienced. Yeah, well, hey, Casper's Casper, man. With all due love and respect, Rokas needs to chop wood and guys, you got to give him credit. He did go inside a cage two times. Two times. He did very well the first time, and the second time too. He just got got his bat taken. I forgot the details, but he got choked. And so the guy has heart, man. The guy has heart. You have to give him that. I don't believe like a lot of people. Like it's just the way he talks. He's very soft spoken and talks very slow. Probably, yeah, very slow. But yeah, and he does like MMA now, and he does Brazilian jiu-jitsu and kickboxing, boxing, blah 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 blah. So I mean, he's not a wimp at this point. It's just his way of talking is his way of talking, and maybe that needs to go chop wood and dig ditches to toughen up. Yeah, but I know what you mean. All right, Shaddy, yeah, Shaddy's cool, man. Shaddy's cool. Shintaro is pretty big, larger than you physically. Oh yeah, Shintaro is a big dude, man. Like like hmm. I don't know. Like I'm sure we could always look it up and see like on Wikipedia like what he weighs and all that. But now I think he's bigger than he used to be when he was competing. But yeah, he's a big dude, man. He'd whoop my ass for sure. Which, by the way, I'm gonna have to reach out to him and see if I can get him on the show, or me go on his show or whatever. Like it's yeah, I think he's a really cool guy, man. I'd love to chit chat with him. Travis Stevens or Shintaro. Not sure what context, but yeah, Travis Stevens is another very. Oh, he got big too. Big Travis. Or wife and his wife Kalita. Whose wife Kalita? Whatever. Do you play fighting games? Yeah, I used to. I used to play Street Fighter, and I used to play like hack 'em and slash 'em type of games. Like Double Dragon back in the day. Like I'm 43, so maybe you don't know these games, but Double Dragon was a thing. Golden Axe, that was cool. Was the other one? Yeah. All these games were like not first person, but second or third. Like you see the person and you just control them, and they go and they beat up people. And of course, Street Fighter. Like I love Street Fighter. Also played Mortal Kombat, but that was I haven't had time to play in a long time, to be honest, because I'm trying to I'm just busy with work and all. But yeah, like if I had time and like all the time in the world, and I didn't have anything else to do, I wasn't so busy. Yeah, definitely, like, yeah, games are cool, man. Nothing wrong with it. Big YouTuber to fight. Oh, you mean? Yeah, but guys, like if I'm gonna fight, I want to fight like YouTubers, not like Olympic level athletes who are on YouTube. Or because there's a lot of fighters now too, they're on YouTube, like UFC fighters or whatever. Like they have their YouTube channel and all that. Like, yeah, you don't want to be fighting pro fighters, man, because I mean that's not going to be, of course, money could change all that though. Hmm. There is video of Inui dominating Shitaro in Randori. Yeah, but that's Kosei Inui. I mean, legend. So that's the thing, man. Like, there's always somebody better than you, right? Unless you're really like top of the food chain. But if you're not top of the food chain, or even if you are top of the food chain, I mean, sometimes like on the podium, right? When you go to Olympics on the podium, those guys, I mean, they're very very, very close to each other, man. On any given day, any of those guys could win for the most part, right? Because like it doesn't take much to lose in judo. Like just one little mistake, boom, you're done. It's not very forgiving as a sport. And yeah, all those guys are at a very high level. So yeah, so like to me, it's people get beat, and that's how it goes. If you fight, you're gonna get beat. There's always somebody stronger, and there's always somebody weaker than you, so to speak. Unless you're really like, for example, what's his name? 73 kilo, Japanese judoka. Okay, I shouldn't be drawing a blank here, but Shohei, guys, help me out. Shohei Ono, unbeatable at this. Like he is, like not even close. Like he kills everyone, right? But yeah, unless you're him, like ultra dominance, like yeah, and that's rare. Like that's rare that you have somebody in judo that dominates. As far as I know, because I'm not like a big history like Olympic buff or whatever. So my history, my dates, like whatever, because I enjoy like practicing a sport. I don't really enjoy watching it for the most part. Like UFC is cool. Like judo now, I've learned to appreciate it, to watch it because it is pretty. Like I understand what's going on and it's spectacular. BJJ, I don't want to watch that shit unless it's like no gi because it's like fast pace, and then pretty interesting too. But for the most part, I like to train. I'm always training, so I don't have time to watch all that much. Travis Shintaro or Kalita, ex-Olympian Travis's wife. Oh, you mean fighting them? I'd probably fight the wife. Yeah, I don't want to get my ass kicked. You already know I'm going to get killed by those guys. So, like, if I actually wanted a fighting chance, probably the wife. I care about Rokas and I appreciate his content and his experience. Yeah, yes, he does have heart. Just saying, for his own good, I value the fact he's a kind person. Yeah. Do you guys find that he's kind of like on the like on the bandwagon of MMA, BJJ, like that's the the be all and end all of martial arts. I feel he's like that because of his experience with Aikido. Like he got screwed over like basically for years on end, and now it's just like an overreaction, overcompensation, which is understandable. So I feel that's where he's at, but I feel that if he ever meets somebody that has who knows how to fight, but then has like learned like the traditional stuff at the same time, he might realize that there's something to it too. There's like I used to think like conditioning was complete garbage, complete BS, but then I realized training with my buddy John that like it's a thing, man. Like when you fight bare knuckle like this, it changes everything. You don't have gloves anymore. You're not, and it's like if you're fighting for real, like a real fight, then it becomes just violence. And when it's pure violence, I mean, it's a different game. Now we're talking like, okay, because this here, like if you hit somebody in the wrong spot and your hand's not conditioned, you're gonna break your knuckle. You're gonna break your hand, right? And that's just the way it is. And yeah, man, and there's so many things that it's different, man. Like like it's not the same thing when you have gloves and when you don't have gloves, for sure. your approach is going to be different. But also like conditioning, like if you like the bones, man, like people could literally break your arm, like by throwing you like really strong roundhouse kick. If you're not conditioned for that, or if like it's a game changer, man. Body conditioning and all. And so he's just there right now, but he hasn't experienced like guys who have that level of conditioning where like they'll kick your leg, they'll break it, they'll literally like they'll throw it so hard, so fast, and they're so conditioned, their bones. And if you're not, you're just gonna like crumple, or it's gonna hurt big time, big time, big time, big time. Anyways, uh, da, 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 da. I'm semi-pro level Street Fighter player. Guys, I still have PlayStation. What are we now? PlayStation 4? I have PlayStation 2 or 3. I think I had the 3, PlayStation 3. And yeah, so I'm kind of outdated there. When Rokas tried MMA, he just went to a random gym and got his ass kicked. He was probably expecting a similar experience from judo and was disappointed. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you might be right about that, because Shad, I think he did a video with sparring with Shaddy and all that. I'd have to watch it again, but he didn't have as easy of a time as this, right? So, and I think the sparring was very light and respectful and all that. It wasn't like Shiai. So Shiai is like competition mode, like you're actually trying to, because here's the thing, man. If you're not a judo guy and like you get thrown and you don't know how to fall, you stick your arm out, you don't tuck your chin in, you're gonna hurt yourself. So as judo guys, we understand that, and like we don't want to do that to people because you don't want to be a douche. Like I've been to BJJ clubs, and like I'm going against a Bjj Black Belt, and I'm not trying to like throw the guy and hurt him that bad, right? Because I know that like I know what could happen in terms of injuries. So I'm trying to be nice. And the guy does like a wrist lock on me while I have his gi, like which it's kind of funny because I learned from that. But I mean, he did it hard enough where but it's like, dude, if I wanted to, I'd fucking throw you through the wall, man. I'd smash you so hard, like, or I'd osoto you in such a weird way. And if you resist, I'd break your damn knee. Like, that's how bad it could get. I know what to do and what not to do. And if I wanted to do it, I would do it. But since you're not a judoka, I can't do it because, like, you're really going to get smashed. If a judoka, at least, they're fighting, they understand judo. So it'll be a lot harder to do on them, to mess them up that way. But like if a guy doesn't know judo and I want to break him, like really hurt him when I'm doing judo, like there's ways, man. There's ways, like like angles and all that. Like you could osoto somebody, you could like not hold them, you don't even hold them back, you really just slam both their shoulders. You slam both the shoulder, the head pop back, concussed, finish, man, see you later. Or you drive into it. Like there's so many things, like dirty things that you could do for judo that could mess the guy up. So you don't want to do that. So what I'm saying is that, yeah, he went to it's Casper, So I guess if he was expecting to get smashed, like there's clubs out there. So I think that even with his experience with Shaddy already, like he wasn't throwing Shaddy around like doing this, all this stuff. So already that, I mean, there's levels to the game. Weight is a factor. I think that he was just like, I don't know. I think this was he did this, but he kind of knew what he was doing. Maybe because if he would have went to like a competitive club, like it would have looked good for him. He might not have wanted to post that on YouTube, like getting destroyed like that. Like you get national level, international level, dude. No, like like that's it. So I guess he just didn't want judo to look good. I don't know. All right, next one. He didn't go against some UFC level guy, just a random dude in a random gym. Yeah, and he still got his ass beat. No, it wasn't a UFC level guy, but it was a guy who competed like for his when he did that video that went viral, like a keto guy does MMA or something like that, and he got his ass beat. That guy, like I remember in that video, that guy was actually like a mixed martial artist. Like he trains and fights in MMA, right? Was he pro or or amateur. I don't remember, but hey, it is what it is. Ono, yeah, Shohei Ono, the king, the king. Did you guys know that my coach Nick Tritton told me he threw him, and I was like, what? What? And I don't know if he threw him in. I think it was in a competition or something like that, or maybe a training camp. But I think it was competition. And he was like, yeah, that was. And when after he said that, he was like, yeah, that was when he was still throwable. When Ono was still throwable. So that was like way back, way back, 10, 20 years ago. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, Ono is the king right now. You can't throw that guy. Like, um, he's God, in a sense. I like to see him in MMA though. Yeah, but sometimes it doesn't carry over, man. To be honest, like good in judo, striking takes years, man. Takes a lot of time too. Okay, so again, Ono, Shohei, yeah. I don't know why. You know why? It's late, and I can't continue drinking coffee or else I won't be able to sleep. Okay. He lost first round in the open weight, All Japan. Well, that's the thing. Ono's crazy, man, in the sense that like he wants to win the All Japan. I saw a documentary on that, and he was like, oh yeah, he took like a whole year off or whatever because he was like, no, you know what? I just want to focus on All Japan, and I think he didn't go to the Olympics just because he wanted to win the All Japan. But the thing is, weight matters, right? And Ono's style in that documentary, like he was talking a lot about, oh, he learned judo in a very direct way, like no setup, no trickery, just grab and throw. So he was doing that, and he's a super strong guy as well. Like it's super explosive, super, like you could see when the guy trains, like if you follow him on Instagram or watch videos of him on YouTube, like he's a beast, man. He's like a really strong dude. You have to be at that level. Like you guys have to remember that at that level, people, they self-select. It's only the genetically gifted for that sport that are going to make it. So these guys are already genetic, like they self-select out. All the ones who aren't explosive, like Casper here, like they're never gonna make the cut, right? They're pretty much they know quite early, like who's gonna make it, who's gonna not, and then they compete. So all these guys, they self-select, and it's all the genetic freaks that get there. And Ono is a really strong, explosive, like genetically, built for this kind of stuff. But size still matters. Like if you have guys who are just as gifted as him, and they're like 50, 100 pounds heavier, well, guess what? He's not going to throw them, right? So that's just the way it is, man. So even the great Ono, but there's weight divisions for a reason. He was beaten by French in team fight. He was beaten in by French in team fight. Who, Ono? Oh, cool. Well, there you go. Wow, he was. Wow. Okay. I thought he was like still, undefeated for a long ass time. Okay, cool. Well, size matters. Yep, definitely does. Judo has been downhill since Masahiko Kimura. Yes, Kimura downhill. I'm not sure what you mean by that. You mean because of all the rules, like they change and make it more spectacular, and the leg ban, because it looked too much like wrestling, which that was the reason they gave. But a lot of people say it's because the Japanese weren't doing too well against the Russians and the Americans that were like wrestling heavy. Ono Shon was beaten by the French team in team fight. Oh, is this recent? Man, I gotta go see that. That's crazy to me. See how much I follow. Like I don't follow religiously at all. Like sometimes Grand Slam going on, World Championship, and I'm like, yeah, whatever, goes through. Because I like to play. I don't like to watch very much. I'm not a very I watch UFC and all that, but that's pretty much it. Like I don't even like judo is cool. Like when I watch it, I used to train when I was with my first coach. Like we would always like head back to his place pretty often, during the week, Monday, Wednesday, or whatever. After judo or after competition, we'd go there, watch like judo videos and talk about it and discuss. So that was the only time I really watched judo. But other than that, I never really watched judo, man. Like kind of boring. I understand it and it's more exciting. I appreciate it and it's cool, but it's not something that I do, like seriously, you know. All right. Yeah, I definitely siding in MMA. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You're talking about Rokas. 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 MMA. MMA. Was it BJJ? And then, yeah, one day, you know, someone's just gonna pull out a stick and whack him with it, and they'll be like, "My shit doesn't work." I'm kidding. I'm kidding. What is this? Oh, if you pro Thai boxer check your kick, you'll be the next. Damn right, man. Damn right. Like if you're not conditioned, you're not conditioned. Like the sport is specific, right? Like Muay Thai, dude. Those guys, like they've been conditioning since the age of whatever, and yeah, man, they're adapted to that sport. So like those guys, man, like yeesh, it's not the same game, man. It's really not, Mm, 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 Next one, man. There's a lot of questions here. I'm trying to like get off this call, but I wanna read all the comments because it's really fun hanging out with you guys. Oh my god, we're 17. So that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Let's see here. Harai and jump mid. Oh, okay. Harai goshi and jump in. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's years old. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, and you hear something crack, like ribs, and 100%. Nick was heavyweight. Nick. No, Nick wasn't. Not, Nick was 73. Nick Tritton, my coach, 73. Now he's bigger. Now I think he's like 81 or 88 kilos, whatever that is in pounds. He throws Teddy and Randori. Oh yeah, you mean oh no, yeah, yeah. I saw videos of him throwing. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But I mean, Teddy kind of let him too. It's just sparring, so doesn't really care. So Ono Frutetti and Randori. Yep, yep. Talked about that. Yes, that's what I mean. Don't remember what we're talking about, but awesome. Oh shoot. Okay. You're awesome, dude. If you're gonna go to Guatemala someday, we have great judo scene. Ah, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Guatemala, yeah, man. Like, guys, like as this channel grows, it's gonna allow me to make better content. It's gonna grow some more, and it's gonna allow me to travel and give me more free time and all that. And I'm all about this, man. So what I mean is that like I'm not stopping anytime soon. Like my coach, Nick Tritton, at one point, hey, you want to coach at one point? You get your black belt, you get your coaching certificate, and we're gonna coach and all that. And I thought for a while I was like, yeah, that's definitely something I'd like to get into. Blah 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 blah. But then now, like I'm like, man, I like to fight too much, man. I like to train. I'm 43, but I don't feel it at all, man. And I'm taking care of myself because one of the reasons is because I want to keep having fun. And to me, fighting is fun, learning is fun, training is fun, competing. So I don't want to stop. I don't really want to coach. I'm not like, I'm sure like it's interesting, but doing it as like full time, like, no, man. So what I'm saying is that when I'm able to, I'm definitely gonna like travel and train and compete. And I'm gonna have all this like filmed, documented, and like grow this community and all that, so you guys can see all that. And I'm definitely gonna travel around the world and do this kind of stuff, because why not? It's fun, kind of like Ryu, right, in Street Fighter. So what it is that like I'm the traveling fighter, so to speak, right? Just like wandering the planet just in search of the fight, and that doesn't really know what he's looking for, but figures that if he's fighting, then he'll figure it out. Real life Ryu, Bruce Lee 2.0, where Bruce Lee, died at, was it 32? I, picking up the slack, so to speak. Yeah, that's kind of cocky, but whatever. All right. Okay. All right. My gi is done in the washing machine, so I'm go walk your dog. It's late. Yes, I gotta walk the dog, man. Kind of hungry too. Some high level judokas are in MMA in Montreal now. Young, the Jesus, Nick, and Solomon knows them. Yeah. Listen, man, there's a lot of there's some good guys like anywhere you go. Montreal's a big city, so I'm sure. Yeah, I just don't know them yet, because I might be fighting in September, for what do you call it? Yeah, for Fight Quest, and we'll see. Like I put my name out there. I want to fight at 150, so I'm gonna see what if they could find me an opponent that's close to my age and my experience level. And if they do, then great. If not, then it depends. We'll see. And if I get a right opponent, then I'll accept. And then from there, well, we just got to train and get to the fight because I can get injured, he can get injured. Event might not even happen. Who knows? Like amateur, it's kind of like that, right? So that's what it is. And yeah, so by me, being more in the MMA scene and like competing myself, then definitely I'm gonna get to know a little bit more the guys here and all. And but I don't really focus on like who's who. I don't really care. It's like focus on myself. And obviously, like if there's tape on him, I'm gonna watch it quick there to understand like if he's a southpaw, if he's orthodox, if he's predominantly striker or grappler or whatever. But I mean, you got to focus on what you're gonna do, and not what the guy's gonna be able to do to you because you gotta play to win, and you to play to win, you got to focus on what you're gonna do to him, right? Now, of course, the more info you have, the better it is, but not the end of the world. All right, guys. So hey, we've been running for like long ass time. It's like midnight now, and I started this like at 9:15, 9:20 because there was a whole bunch of issues with the what do you call it? The OBS. So I gotta fix that. But anyways, one last comment here from Mikas, and then I'm gonna call it a night. Let's see here. Bare knuckle MMA FC. Yeah, why not, man? Why not? Fuck, I'd give it a shot. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being with me. Appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, check out my other channel, OG Fitness Clips. Right. So I'm working on the format there, but it's going to be different content than the main channel. And that's it, man. I'll see you guys next Thursday, 9 p.m. New schedule. Peace.